after a slow start.
Our team is, our first two games we opened up, we were 0-2, and since then we've been 4-1-1, and the one loss has been against Mater Dei, close football game, and then the tie, of course, last week against Trabuco. So our team has really matured. We play really well together. We like each other a lot. It's been a fun season. A bunch of just ordinary guys doing extraordinary things.
The Tritons can give opposing defensive coordinators a headache as they try to figure out ways to stop the unique fly offense.
Well, the fly is, we've usually got a guy in motion all the time, and it's, we could give the ball to that guy on a sweep or an inside sweep, and then we have all sorts of options underneath that with counters and inside run game, and then, of course, bootlegs off of it. So it's all based on deception and guys carrying out their fakes and good blocking on the perimeter.
Sophomore quarterback Dan Covello has developed rapidly, but the catalyst of the offense is senior wide receiver Chris McCormack, who not only leads the team in receiving, but also in rushing.
Oh, Chris McCormick, he's really intense. He gets the whole team fired up, and he really knows how to. He's got great hands, catches everything you pass to him, and I really have a lot of trust in him.
On defense, the Tritons will be aggressive in trying to stop the Diablos' vaunted running game.
Well, we basically run an even front. Sometimes we're in what we call our stack, which is a 4-4 look, or we go into what is commonly known as a 6-1 look. And our philosophy is to try to be aggressive. We try to come at people, and try to disrupt the offenses that we play, and just really swarm to the ball and get a lot of people in on every tackle.
Defense got a lot of emotion, I think, and play our hardest and not make mental mistakes. That's our big problem with making mental mistakes. We just need to go out and play flawless.
Reporting from San Clemente High School, this is Marcus Williams for Cox Sports.
Thanks a lot, Marcus. A good look at the San Clemente Tritons. Two head coaches. You've got Steve Crapo and Mark McElroy doing double duty over there. Mission Viejo, we talked about them last week with the game of the week. Of course, they're coming off a big loss against Mater Dei. They lose two players, Bill. Joey Reed and Ryan O'Connor. They're a little bit banged up as we get ready for this one tonight.
Well, I think Steve Carnes was really proud of the effort those guys put forth in the second half of that Mater Dei game last week. And tonight, the big guys up front are going to have to do a job.
Yeah, last week, Steve Carnes showed us a lot. He is the head coach of Mission Viejo. He's a very good gentleman, and I tell you what, he's going to get these guys ready. Let's once again take a look at the Diablos of Mission Viejo.
It is do or die for the Mission Viejo Diablos as they enter tonight's game versus San Clemente. A loss in tonight's battle means Coach Steve Carnes' team will watch the playoffs from home this year. And it's a challenge he hopes his team is ready for.
Yeah, we'll be ready to play. Whether we're good enough to beat them, I don't know. But I think we are, you know, so we got to play well. We got to play mistake-free and see what happens.
Offensively, season-ending knee injuries to two Diablo receivers in last week's 43-12 loss to Mater Dei puts even more pressure on senior fullback Dan Bowling to produce. However, Bowling's backfield mate Robert Badron returns to the lineup after missing one game to injury. With his return, Bowling feels the running game will yield big results.
He'll be back, you know, getting in there and running a little bit. And, you know, hopefully our running attack, you know, it gets back to normal.
Last week, the Diablos defense fell victim to a near-perfect performance from the vaunted Mater Dei passing game. To avoid a similar aerial bombardment, Mission Viejo will look for players like linebacker Alex Jones and cornerback Justin Schultz to counter a strong San Clemente passing attack led by quarterback Dan Coviello and wide receiver Chris McCormick.
They have a tricky offense. Put some pressure on the quarterback mainly. He's the key to the offense.
We'll do some things, maybe challenge him, make him work a lot harder. I mean, of course, I'd like to go lock up on him one-on-one, get back kind of what I lost last game, and hope that, you know, I could shut him down.
Ninth-ranked San Clemente offers no solace to a Diablo team who faces their third-ranked opponent in as many weeks. Coach Carnes knows that the Tritons pose another big test for his team.
You know, they can score at any time. And so I would say that we'd want to control the ball, yeah, and try to keep their offense off the field.
After consecutive losses to league opponents and injuries to two key players, the Mission Viejo Diablos have their backs against the wall. They'll try to keep their playoff hopes alive tonight with a win over San Clemente. From Mission Viejo High School, this is Jeff Kearns for Cox Sports.
Thanks, Jeff. And I know that you take a look at the South Coast League, Bill, a lot of parity with these teams.
Well, look at the standings. You know, Mater Dei on top, but There's not a lot of difference between these teams. It's a physical league, and I think we're going to see another physical game tonight.
That's right. Mark McElroy and Steve Crapo bring 2 physical players to the team with them and to the field. We'll talk about them with the San Clemente Tritons. Chris McCormack now, he leads the team in rushing and receiving. That's quite an honor.
Well, it is. It means that he is the linchpin of this offense. And the fly offense, if you've never seen it before, people are in for a treat tonight. A lot of misdirection, but this guy really pounds the ball. And then when you need him, he can catch the ball too, as evidenced by those numbers.
Mike Hogue, number 34, leads the team in tackles. 5'10", 165 pounds. He should be pretty busy tonight.
Well, Coach Crapo tells me he just comes flying out of that secondary, and he's a very sure tackler. And Steve's always had some great defensive teams down there, and this guy's the leader.
What a great player. Honenberger, I hear Alex Honenberger, and I know that Coach talked to you and I about him earlier tonight.
Talked to Coach Carnes about him. He's so proud of this guy that the things he's done this year been a result of his persistence and hard work. He's done a great job for the Diablos.
Justin Schultz, he stepped up last week, played a great second half against Mater Dei. He's only a junior. This kid's got a lot of football in him.
I think he's a tremendous cover guy. Last week he was covering one of the better high school receivers in the country, and I thought he did a very good job. But tonight he's got to stop the 20% of that passing game that San Clemente presents.
Yeah. The South Coast League, as we talked about, has a lot of parity. Matter of fact, we do have a tie in the South Coast League. We'll take a look at the standings for the South Coast League, and of course, Mater Dei at the top, Bill, 3-0. But let's go down a couple notches. San Clemente and Mission Viejo. This is where it gets a little messy for the playoff picture.
Well, it does, and anytime you throw a tie in there, that's what happens. That tie last week with Tribuca Hills and San Clemente. But San Clemente, with a victory tonight, will qualify for the playoffs. And those first 3 teams up there, that's a tough part of that league, Mater Dei, Tribuca Hills, and San Clemente. Mission Viejo, with a victory tonight and a victory next week, would be a playoff team.
And you take a look at Dana Hills, 1-2. We saw them earlier this year. They have a fantastic football team. That's what this parity is in the South Coast League. Very competitive teams. And I know there's also, we want to talk about, is the community's keys to victory, Bill, because when you look at what these teams need to do in the South Coast League and also for a playoff picture, there's a lot that they need to do, and we're going to take a look at the San Clemente Tritons and what they need to do for the community's keys to victories. And the first one, Bill, play action pass, you have to defeat that, and 8 guys in the box.
Well, I think Mission Viejo likes to do that. They did it last week to Mater Dei, and the play action pass is designed to get those one-on-one opportunities if a defense does put 8 guys at the line of scrimmage, which I think the Diablos will do. Second, I think they have to stop Bowling and Apreciabi, the running backs from Mission Viejo, because they're both guys that can pop a play anytime. They've done it in the past, and I think that's probably going to be the #1 key on defense. Then, I think the Tritons, and they've done this very well for a year and a half now, they use misdirection of this fly offense to create mismatches. You'll see motion on almost every play, and it's fun to watch, kind of like a squirrel derby out there. And then, I think the Tritons really must convert at least 70% of their third down situations. Their game has always been, at least in this offense, control the football. And so you're going to get yourself in a lot of third downs if you choose to march the ball. If you can convert 70%, you can win the game.
That's a look at the community's keys to victory for the Tritons, and for the Diablos. Stop San Clemente's running game. They're going to do it about 70% of the time.
Well, they have to, and this is that game. The game plan they had last week for Mater Dei was put 8 guys on the line of scrimmage. I think they'll do that again tonight because stopping the San Clemente running game is paramount importance. Second, they have to build on that great effort that they showed in the second half of the Mater Dei game. I was really impressed with the way they bounced back, showed a lot of heart and some great coaching. And then I think, and this is kind of obvious, if you're playing against a ball control team, don't give them the ball. So I think Mission Viejo has to kind of take on that role tonight and try and control the football. And then I think that sometimes we tend to say that the offense has to do all the work in terms of putting points on the board. I think if the Diablos can score on special teams or on defense, they can win this game.
If you were to add one more to that list, and maybe keeping the Diablos healthy tonight. As we said, they lost 2 key players last week, but they did play a very good second half against the Mater Dei Monarchs. When we come back, it'll be opening kickoff, a South Coast League game between the Tritons of San Clemente and the Diablos of Mission Viejo. That's coming up next, right here on Channel 3. Atmosphere for football as the San Clemente Tritons going to take on the Mission Viejo Diablos right here at Mission Viejo High School on Seniors Night as they honor the seniors of Mission Viejo High School. Hi everybody, I'm Paul Higgins and welcome back to the Game of the Week. We get set for this one, Bill Cunity, and I know it should be a fun one. San Clemente wearing all white tonight. The Diablos right there in their yellow and their red, coming off a loss 1 week ago. And the Tritons coming off a hard-fought tie against the Trabuco Hills Mustangs.
I tell you what, implications tonight for the playoffs. That's why you play this game. I think that when they changed the format back about 1977 or 78, when they took 3 teams from each league and created all the divisions, I thought it was a brilliant plan. I thought that you know, it allowed more players to get into the playoffs, because when I first started coaching, the only teams that went to the playoffs were league champions. And this gives everybody an opportunity, and tonight it's on the line. If the Tritons win this game, they're in the playoffs. If the Diablos can win the next 2, they can get into the playoffs.
And we are underway. Ball taken on the 1-yard line by San Clemente, trying to bring it up. They like to run the ball about 80% of the time, pass the ball about 20% of the time. We'll take a look at their lineup on offense as the 2 head coaches, Coach Crapo and McElroy. This is how they set up. Covello is the quarterback and Allen the running back. They'll be very busy tonight. It's all centered around John Goodrich, the center right there for the San Clemente Tritons. He's the anchor up there. The wide receivers, Lucas, Morgan, Resty, and McCormick is the guy to watch, number 85.
And he'll line up in the slot most of the time, but he can catch with it. He can catch the ball, but he can really run with it. He's been the guy that's provided the spark. Here he comes.
First play of the game, and it's going to be a pass play. And it's completed, and then nice tackle made by the Diablos coming up to make that tackle. I believe that'd be a number 6, Badron.
That's right, Paul. He saw the screen. I thought that was a great start of the game play.
And there's Glassford, who we talked about last week, LePere. And then these guys, the linebackers, Jones, Nips, and Radon's. Radon's a great player, number 38. Badron, as you saw, he just made the tackle. Schultz, who had a good second half last week. Young and Whitting.
Little play action that time. And I think a screen is a great way to start a game, Paul, because the defenses are really pumped up and coming after you.
We are just underway. First quarter, man in motion. San Clemente has the football. Hand it off to the left side. And if you know run's coming, Bill, you can start to adjust early. And you know they might come up the middle a little bit to test your defensive line.
I remember in the keys to the game, I said that play action would be an important thing for San Clemente, because Mission Viejo will put 8 players at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. And so play action is a chance to get a one-on-one matchup in the secondary. And when you look at the number of red jerseys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, right now there are 9 guys close to the line of scrimmage. And so San Clemente is going to have to throw it sometime.
3rd down and 9. Covello back in the pocket, standing tall. Getting flushed out of the pocket. Now he throws down, and this is intercepted. Mission Viejo comes up with the football, and it's Badron. And Badron takes it across the 30 down to the 28-yard line. We'll check in with the flag. And talking to Coach Crapo and Coach McElroy this week, they actually said, hey, we're going to try to go around these guys via the run instead of go up the middle. It's declined. It's going to be Mission Viejo's ball as the penalty goes against the Tritons.
That penalty was for a back in motion, and that was declined, and Coviello can scramble, and he did that time, but he overthrew his receiver by just a titch, and there's Badron in the secondary. He makes a great play on the screen. He comes right back and makes a great play on the interception. And the Diablos right now with the ball on the 34-yard line, Paul. What a great break for them to start the game.
John Hudgens, the quarterback for the Diablos. Good field position. This is the exact opposite of 1 week ago when Mater Dei had such great field position. You see the offensive starters with Hudgens, Badron in there, and also Dan Bowling. And that guy is a very good back. He likes to go up the middle. All up front, these big boys doing it, anchored around Kevin Dunn, the center. And then Hunnifer, who we talked about, he's a key guy on offense. They like to get the ball to him. 2nd down and 7. Running to the right. Badron has it, and he is tackled just shy of the 20-yard line. Coming up to make that play, Bill, number 34, San Clemente, showing a lot of speed. Coming up to make the play is Mike Hogue.
You know, Mike is the leading tackler on this team, and he's doing it from a safety position.
That's amazing.
And as we mentioned in the open, Steve Crapo told me he comes out of the secondary like a rocket ship.
Sure
he
does.
Just did.
I was so impressed when I saw that stat. As a free safety, leads the team in tackles. 3rd and 4.
I have to tell you something that we talked about in the pregame with the coaches. There's Bowling.
Bowling gets down to the 11-yard line, and Bill, he picked up a 1st down.
You remember last week in the game against Mater Dei, I mentioned that when Mission Viejo was in that 2 tight end formation, I thought they could get a tight end open in the corner. Well, I guess these coaches, they were talking before the game. We were having some fun with this, and John Wayman were talking about, hey, we're going to throw to the tight end in the corner tonight, so keep your eye on it.
We'll see what they do. Taking a look at the defensive set for San Clemente. The linebackers and Hogue, who just made a play with San Clemente with that tackle, leading the Tritons in that department. A handoff once again, so they're pounding it to the right side, and that would be the left side of the Tritons defense.
Well, they have a definite size advantage up front. This Mission Viejo offensive line is almost college size. I mean, they've got some big guys up there. And, you know, when you're in a situation like this where some of your guys are dinged up, and again, we want to pass on our best wishes to those 2 guys, Ryan O'Connor and Joey Reed. Joey was operated on yesterday. Ryan gets operated on tomorrow, I think. And
that's a shame.
A couple of ACLs. And let's see if we see that tight end pass here.
2nd and 8. Hudgens with the pitch. Bowling has the ball. He sees a crease and he gets down to the 2-yard line.
Well, I tell you what, they went to a double wing set that time, Paul. Very interesting. 2 tight ends, but they took the 2 fullbacks and put them outside on the wing. That was my favorite thing on goal line offense. We used to call it double king or double queen. You put 2 fullbacks in the backfield, but you don't put them in a traditional position. You put them out on the wing together or offset together, and that time, that was the ultimate unbalanced line because it was guard, center, tight end, and then 2 fullbacks.
One of the head coaches, Mark McElroy, the other head coach, Steve Crapo.
You know, it's fun to think back about the days when Mark McElroy was at San Clemente and Steve was at Danny Hills playing for me, watching those guys compete with and against each other from the time they were young.
Yeah,
and now they're best friends and coaching together, and boy, do they do a great job.
They sure do. They have, you know, personalities that match really well. Does Steve surf as much as Mark?
No, I don't think so anymore. I think, you know, watching both of those guys grow up and knowing their families as well as I do. Mark's mom and dad and Steve's mom and dad, they're just great people. Steve, I think when I first got to Dana Hills and just watching him perform in 3 sports, in basketball, baseball, and football, I'd say he's in the top 4 or 5 of any athlete I've ever coached.
See Justin Schultz in there on offense. Of course, he plays a very good secondary. Also in their number 88, Billy Brummel. Called his name a lot last week. Hudgens is the quarterback, number 17. Also in the backfield with him, Will Rendez.
Here's that wing set again.
And Bowling, who bangs up against 1 tackler, and then they scored as a TD. They called a TD on the initial hit when he got over, and then he was pushed back, but he got over just enough. All you have to do is break the plane of the end zone.
You know, Paul, it's one thing to get a turnover. It's another thing to cash it in, and the Diablos did cash it in. And in the open, I said it was important for the Diablos to score either on special teams or on defense. Well, that turnover, that interception, really led to the points because it gave them great field position.
So Bowling with the touchdown. Mission Viejo leads it. And the point after attempt is good. So the Diablos lead it 7-0 with 8:07 to go in this first quarter. We'll be back with more after this.
Ooh.
Welcome back to the game of the week. Bill is oohing and ahhing.
That
We
was
almost
an
saw our
ooh.
second turnover there by San Clemente as they fumble it on the kickoff, but they recover it. Welcome back to Mission Viejo High School. The score is 7-0. And why we have this opportunity, I don't know what we said last week on the air, but whatever we said, Mission Viejo and San Clemente really have outshined anything we thought anybody would do in bringing us food for tonight. Not only did they bring us a whole platter, but they brought our crew a whole platter. And here is the replay, and a touchdown coming in here. Bowling, he got over there, and then he was pushed back. But that was 6 plays, 29 yards, 7-0 off the 2-yard run.
Jesse Harmon with the extra point and with an excellent kickoff, too.
Yep. Diablos running to the left, and a little gap opening up That's McCormick across the 25 down to 27, but we're going to thank these people all night long because they really didn't have to do what they did, but the San Clemente cheer squad, San Clemente touchdown club, and most importantly, Mission Viejo and their cheerleading squad just outdid themselves tonight and giving us a great spread for ourselves and the crew down below with the Cox truck.
Paul, this was terrific, and boy, I echo that. Our thanks for making this so much fun. I mean, we did the opening, and then we came up here to the booth, and here's lasagna and salad and brownies and stuff, and this is great.
A lot of treats.
Thank you very much.
To the right they go, and Mission Viejo, they're big and physical up front, and they're stopping the run right now with San Clemente on offense.
You know, Mark told you before the game they wanted to go outside, and that's what they're doing. McCormick one way, Smith the other way, and then I think, again, as Mission Viejo begins to pack that line of scrimmage, you're going to see Coviello on the play-action pass, and that puts a lot of pressure on those two corners. And this week, we see Schultz move back to a safety position. Last week, they locked him up outside at corner, and again, Justin Schultz, just a junior, 6'2", 190.
Second down and 8, 6:55 to go in this first quarter. Across the 40, there's the leading rusher and pass receiver for San Clemente, moving the ball up, number 85 that time. We're going to talk about him all night long, Chris McCormack. And if you saw him without his helmet on, you notice that he had a nice big cut over the bridge of his nose. He just looks like a football player. Easily probably could adapt to a wrestling mat after football season is over.
Just going to say, you know about guys with lumps and bumps from being a wrestler. Here he is on the sweep. He gets some good blocks out in front. And Paul, I have to tell you, for all the years that I played football and the years of the Riddell football helmet, before they put those nice big thick bumper pads, you could always tell a guy that played football because the bridge of their nose had a constant cut on it all the time.
McCormack coming back this way to the 45. Change of hands right there with the football as an inside handoff comes back the other way.
Do you remember Hank Stram?
Oh yeah,
great announcer and great coach for Kansas City.
You bet I do.
When he would do those games with Jack Buck, he'd say, well, you know, San Clemente's trying to do a little business inside there in that inside part of the field. Well, San Clemente, I don't think is going to do a lot of business between the tackles because Mission Viejo has some players in there, some big, strong guys.
Second and 10, no pickup on that first down carry. Man goes in motion, they give it to him. That's number 2, Chris Smith. Chris has some room, avoids one tackler and gets a first down as he dives over the 40-yard line, and they're marking it right around that 38-yard line.
Paul, unselfish football players are my favorite kind of guys, and number 85 for San Clemente, the guy that's led this team, Chris McCormick, he made the key block on that play to spring Chris Smith. And I think that's contagious, you know, when you have guys that our team a couple years ago, and I'm sorry if I make reference to them too often, it's just my favorite group of all time. We had 6 running backs on that national championship team, but we only had 6. That's it. I mean, those 6 had to be the scout team guys.
Yep.
They all shared being running backs. They blocked for each other.
And they all got playing time.
And you know what? None of them cared if they're going to be a 1,000-yard rusher because all 6 of them had about 500 yards apiece.
I want to let you know that this portion of the Game of the Week is being brought to you by Irvine Subaru. Check out their latest edition of Subaru Outbacks and Foresters at Irvine Subaru. They're located on Lake Forest and Rockfield, right across from the Irvine Auto Center. Right now I'm driving a 1999 Outback, and it's a really fun car to drive. Looking forward to taking that maybe up to the mountains to go snowboarding with you, Bill.
Good looking car,
yeah,
too. Saw you coming in tonight. We just had a nice picture there on the screen of Mike Hoffman, who was out there talking to his defense. Mike played corner on our 1985 national championship team at Saddleback, and boy, he's become a tremendous coach.
At the 38-yard line, 1st and 10, 7-0. Quick handoff. And look at him go. As he cuts to the left, he's going to find a little bit of room, and then he wrestles away and gets down to the 20-yard line. One thing that I noticed when he runs, Bill, you're not going to be able to tackle him above the waist. You're going to have to go below the waist.
Pretty strong upper body guy, but he also, you know, you hit a good point there. He knows how to use his body lean when he takes on a tackler. Some guys, if they run straight up and down, it's easy for the tackler to get a leverage position. But I think Chris, when he turns the corner, and you'll see him here he comes on the sweep, a couple of good blocks out in front. But when he does get into a position where he's going to make contact, he can lower that shoulder and keep his body lean, so it gives it a little tougher on the defender.
A lot of misdirection plays coming up with San Clemente, and when you talk about that, Bill, the quarterback has to be able to think on exactly what he's doing, and that must just take repetition after repetition in practice.
You know, you're becoming a football guy now. I can tell, because the key to this offense, Paul, is you run these plays maybe during the course of a week. You go through your repertoire and run every play 40 times. And the misdirection offense it's fun to run. It's very difficult to defense, but repetition is the key.
They're going to back him up 5 yards. I believe the tight end jumped off just a little bit there. Actually, could have been that right tackle. But you look at San Clemente, and it was kind of funny. A couple years ago, they did the no huddle, as you talked about. They did that for a few years because that's the team they had. And then Mark sees this group come in and goes, well, that's not going to work. Let's do something else and change it up.
I think one of the great skills in coaching is adaptability. You just you have to decide, I think, when you become a coach, if you ever get to be the head coach, am I going to be a system guy? And that is, I have a system and you're going to run it to come hell or high water.
Yeah.
Or can you adapt to the personnel that you have? And I think that's a skill Mark has done just a marvelous job of that.
Cormac has the ball as he goes around the right end, but he is brought down from behind. Coming up to make the tackle for Mission Viejo. We talked about they're big and physical, and they're fast. Number 67, Steve Rendell.
You know, Mark told me something tonight that surprised me a little bit. He said at this point in his career, the quarterback, Dan Coviello, who is a sophomore, has a stronger arm at this point in his career than Chris Bowden, than Hayward, than any of those great quarterbacks that he's had. And that's quite a statement. Just a 10th grader, and this guy's doing a great job of running this offense.
San Clemente not as banged up as Mission Viejo as they send a man in motion, a little reverse. Smith has it, and again, you know what, I think that, I know when we did the modern day Mission Viejo game last Thursday night, of course we saw Steve Crapo there, we saw Mark McElroy, but I think that over the last 6 days, Steve Carnes has looked at some film on these San Clemente Tritons.
Well, I think so too. I think this defense, I'm looking at Mike Hoffman running that thing down there, and he coaches the secondary there too. They are really aware of all of the things that are happening in that misdirection stuff in the backfield. That's very difficult.
How do you coach that? I mean, I know, like, there's certain things that you can do, maybe a guard, when you've got another opposing guard dribbling the ball up from one end of the court to the other, you look at his eyes or you look at how he moves and where he's going with that ball, and that ball is a little bit more visible. But defensively, how do you try to get your kids ready for that when you know a team like this, San Clemente, going to approach the game that way?
Good question. I think what you do if you play against the Delaware wing T or this fly offense, they're very similar. And the wishbone used to be this way in some respects. Anytime you play against a misdirection offense, you have to spend so much time convincing your defensive players to stay home. Now, that doesn't mean don't come to practice. I had a couple guys in my career, I said, on defense, you got to stay home. They said, well, I'll just miss this week of practice then.
That's easy.
It means you just can't chase all the fakes. You have to play your area of responsibility.
Makes sense. 3rd and 15. McCormack goes in motion. He won't be the one getting it unless they pass to him. Watch out from behind. Mission Viejo, and that was a sack made by the secondary in the sense.
It is, Paul. That's a coverage sack. That means that Coviello's out there looking around and can't find anybody because they're all covered. And Darren LeClaire, 6'2", 306 pounds.
Wow.
Came in there, and you can see that the pressure's coming from everywhere. There's Jones coming from the outside, and a lot of times the guy that gets the sack there, you've got to give the other guys credit too. Jones in on that play, and
the field goal attempt is no good. It was from 37 yards out, wide to the right, so the Diablos hold on defense. What a different football team they're seeing tonight, and you're seeing tonight. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Game for Mission Viejo defensively, and I think Bill and I, as we talked about it during the break, they're still coming off that second half 1 week ago, and that's coaching, I think. If you think back and you say, hey, guys, look at the last 24 minutes of the game that we had with Modern Day.
Absolutely correct. I think we congratulated Steve tonight when we saw him about the way those kids came out and played in the second half against Modern Day. But Ron right now on the sweep, and boy, he gets a great block. And the guy he got the great block from was his buddy in the backfield, Bowling.
Jason Kim, one of the team captains comes up and makes the tackle for San Clemente.
You know, there were two great blocks there. One took place right on the line of scrimmage from Billy Brummel, the tight end. And then Bowling on the corner got outside and really laid the groundwork for Badron's run. And last week we didn't see Badron at tailback very often. Tonight he really looks strong and doing a great job. And right now, Mission Viejo taking advantage of that mismatch a little bit in the offensive line. They're just huge guys in there.
And they go right up the middle again with Badron, so this will bring up a second down. You're watching the Game of the Week right here on Channel 3. Please check in with our new lineup of shows on Channel 3 throughout the week. A lot of fun doing what we're doing on Channel 3, so you'll see some new things that you've never seen before on that particular channel, including, I want you to really check out this. Call 240-1212. We're going to talk about it, but Cox Digital TV, over 130 channels, CD quality sound, great picture. Double second effort there across the 30-yard line with Dan Bowling.
This is a different football team. I mean, when you look at last week's game, I understand that when you play somebody like Mater Dei, that sometimes bad things can happen in terms of injuries, and they did, and that can get you down because Mater Dei is such a talented group. I see this Mission Viejo bunch coming out tonight, and Steve Carnes and his staff have these guys fired up. And you know what they're doing? They're doing what they do best, and that is line up those big, strong guys and just pound them. That's what they do best.
Talked to Steve Carnes tonight, and I asked him, I said, well, he was talking about, go ahead, Bill.
You see that sign? When the official does that, he's not saying there's a big, fat guy on the sideline.
Or there's a plane coming.
When he does this, and he moves his arms like that, it's called a sideline warning. You're allowed one, and then you're penalized, and there should be about, maybe 2 yards worth of free space there where the officials can work on the sideline.
Depends on where they mark this one. Looks like they might get the first down right there, and they will. Dan Bowling with the first down, but I started to say just moments ago, talked to Steve Carnes tonight, and last year he said he sat down with Bill Denny and just told him what a great time he had coaching with the football team, and the circumstances led when Bill Denny passed away, Steve Carnes stepped in, but he said that next year he's going to continue as the AD, and they're going to hire a new coach here at Mission Viejo. But Steve Carnes doing a great job this year. 1st and 10. San Clemente looked like they jumped off sides a little bit there, so they'll probably move this one up 5 yards unless they were drawn off, and I don't think they were that time, Bill.
Nope, I think you got it correctly. That's what happened. It's illegal procedure. There was a movement in the offensive line. That's what caused the defender to jump, so the offense will be moved back 5 yards. And again, Paul, you said this earlier to Steve Carnes, such a classy guy. I first met him when he was coaching at Lusinger High School, which is up where I grew up in the South Bay area. He came down and interviewed for the Laguna Hills job that Steve Bresnahan got this years ago, and I was on the committee, and I followed his career a little bit. Then he got a chance to move down here, and he's been in this area for some time now. But, there's a great play on defense by the Tritons.
Phil, that shows you the quality of coaching. Either one of those gentlemen would have done a great job, and of course Steve Bresnahan went on and did a great job.
That's Joey Kenny that made the play at linebacker, 6 foot, 190-pounder. But I'm looking right now at what the Diablos are doing. They're only 9 seconds. I don't know if they're going to get the playoff here, Paul, but if Mission Viejo is going to pound it, and we know San Clemente runs 80% of the time.
That's right.
You don't have to put anything in the microwave. We're going to be done early today.
Well, you talked about time of possession, and right now, Mission Viejo and San Clemente playing kind of even in that regards, but Mission Viejo has the lead 7-0, and we'll be back with the second quarter right after this.
At 404 Lend.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Game of the Week. I think we're going to see this one again, but it was Hungerford catching a ball from Hudgens, a touchdown while we were away, and this is it, Bill.
Play action, a great fake. Hudgens sets up, and Huntingford is behind everybody, and this is a perfect throw. Right on the numbers, and now watch Huntingford battle here. Steps away from the tackler and scores, and Paul, the Diablos are making a statement here.
First play of the second quarter, they get the TD. The snap, it's up, the kick.
Jesse Harmon.
Right through the uprights, 14-0, but never count out San Clemente.
Nope, you know, they've got too many tricks in that offense, and they've got all kinds of things that they can do out of the fly. They can play action. They can get this running game going. But right now, the Diablos have made a tremendous statement. After that game last week, the blowout at Mater Dei, they've come back tonight, an interception and a 34-yard drive. And then this was really a substantial drive, mostly on the ground. But then when you start getting those 8-man fronts, little play action, then you drop a ball in the corner, and it was a nice route and a very, very good throw.
8 plays, 80 yards. In those 8 plays, 7 of them were runs. 1 was a touchdown pass, 31 yards from Hutchings to Hunterford.
And we want to thank, there are so many people. I know that Mrs. Huntingford was one of the ringleaders of this food we had
right,
tonight.
she was.
So
that's
we want
right.
to thank all those people.
And Steve Carnes said a lot of nice things about your son tonight. So,
all right, let's see if the Tritons can get it in gear and get right back in this game.
on the 6-yard line. And we'll see if San Clemente starts to go outside a little bit more. Another effort by the defensive squad from Mission Viejo coming up to make a pretty good special teams play. So San Clemente will take the ball, and I wasn't hesitant at all, Bill, when I say never count out San Clemente at 14-0. I think maybe 1 week ago when we saw the score 14-0, it was a little bit unbalanced right there. This one, we have a more of an even matchup.
Well, Mater Dei, and looking back, we've said so many things about Bruce Rollinson's team. They truly are a wonderful high school football team. I mean, they have great balance. They're just supremely coached. They do a great job there. But I'm looking at this Mater Dei team in relation to some of the great teams we've seen over the years, and I think they're that good. They rank up there with some of the other great Mater Dei teams. But you know what? This Mission Viejo team, Trabuco Hills, San Clemente, they're not very far behind them.
No.
And, you know, there are some nights when it kind of gets away from you. And I think when those guys got hurt,
it was
kind of took a little steam out. But then again, we remember how the Diablos played the second half of that football game. And I think that's a character test.
It'll be 2nd down and 9. I have a sneaking suspicion you're going to see 85 touch the ball a lot from here on in for San Clemente. McCormack leading the team in rushing and receiving. Send a man in motion. That's McCormack. They fake it to him. They give it to the guy up the middle, and that's number 24, James Allen III.
James Allen is a guy, Paul, who, if you are looking at all the sideways motion, James Allen's a guy that can beat you on the trap and go 90. I mean, he's got great speed, and he can really hit it up the pump. Want to say hi tonight to my buddy, Taylor Jenniser. And Taylor was the only 7-year-old ever in the West Coast Passing School. And you know Steve Jenniser,
Yep.
coaches here at Mission Viejo, and has done such a phenomenal job with youth football in South Orange County.
You're going to continue the West Coast Passing School, aren't you?
Oh, this will be the 17th year.
It's getting up there. McCormack gets it. And that's a tough handoff to take.
Well, it is. That's a little different play. It's a trap coming off of motion, which is a very difficult play to run, because first the trap has to take place, and then McCormack has to get in behind that pulling guard.
Yeah.
But, you know, Mark, I think he's like a kid in a candy store with this offense. Every week he figures out some new wrinkle to put in the fly offense. Yeah. And I think that's fun for the players.
Yep.
I know it's fun for Mark, because I think he does what I always did. That is, you know, Sunday nights you sit in a room somewhere with a pad and pencil, and the crazy side of you comes out. You know, you just start drawing plays and
get creative. You know,
Shannon used to steal my
she did?
Yeah, she'd steal my quadro pad every once in a while.
So you wouldn't work so much. 2nd and 7. San Clemente looking for their first score of the night. McCormack, once again, you'll see him go in motion throughout the evening. Covello back to pass, a short pass out to Allen. Allen has a first down, and he's up to the 47-yard line. One play ago, you saw the back for San Clemente, McCormack, who touched the football and got a couple yards. He was face-to-face with the Diablo, and both those guys, I was wondering if there was any discussion happening, because the Diablo that tackled him, and I'm thinking it was 53 out there for Mission Viejo. But get back to this as you see the slow-mo coming up with Allen catching the football here, and on the right side, he still gets a couple yards even after he's hit.
This was a really good play call. They went into a split-back pro set, and they ran the wide receiver off and got the back out in the flat. all by himself, matched up with the linebacker. Now they're in the shotgun empty.
McCormack
My
once
favorite
again.
formation.
Covello being rushed, and they
Screen.
bring him this side. Smith has it, and almost a great tackle made. And now they wrap him up. Well, let me wrap up my point that I was just going to make a second ago. I didn't believe if Brian Belgian and McCormack were face to face, and I was wondering if there was any words being said, and there was. And then after that, there was no ugly words, there was kind words, because Belgian helps up McCormack. And my point being is that sportsmanship this year has been unbelievable in every game that we've covered.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. We have seen that at every turn. That great, great competition, but great sportsmanship. What's better than that?
Bill, you started to bring
That's
up
coaching,
too.
by the way, too.
Yeah.
I think that's the way these guys are coached. And I wanted to talk about number 55
Anthony
that time.
Nips.
Anthony Nips came in and he saw that screen.
McCormack going to go outside. Took the ball left-handed off his hip. He has the first down into the Diablo territory, and he's all the way down to the 35-yard line. Biggest play of the evening so far for San Clemente.
You can see why McCormack is the leading rusher, because on these motion sweeps, he's running sideline to sideline, and he gets some guys out in front of him. And I want you to watch for something, and that is, in basketball, in the fourth quarter, when some guys are shooting a free throw, you see the guys, and they kind of pull down on their shorts, tugging. Well, that's a sign that they're tired. Well, I'm watching the Mission Viejo defense a little bit, and it looks to me like they're getting a little tired running side to side.
1st and 10.
There's the trap.
Right up the middle. Allen has the ball. He shifts his right hand to his left hand with the football, and he gets knocked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. What a great play by Allen, and I like the way they're shifting up Allen, Smith, and McCormack.
Nice blocking inside on offense by the Tritons, and they have a guy in there that can teach that, a guy named Brad Buddy, who was an All-American at USC and an All-Pro.
He was just honored last weekend.
Yes, he was.
With USC.
College Hall of Famer. His dad, Ed Buddy, a great player for the Kansas City Chiefs, but that little trap in the middle there takes advantage of, you remember we were saying stay home? Well, if those linebackers start thinking about chasing the sweep, then the trap's going to be a big play.
1st and 5, San Clemente. With a man in motion, Covello, hands it off to McCormack. McCormack slips twice. It is getting slippery down there because it's cooling off dramatically tonight, and that's creating a little dew on the surface. So we'll see these guys slip a little bit tonight.
Paul, looking around at the Santa Ana Bowl, I'm looking at the field at Saddleback. I'm looking at the field here at Mission Viejo, at Trabuco Hills. I'll tell you what, these guys never get any credit, but the guys that are taking care of these fields are doing an unbelievable job, because in years past, at this point in the season, these things would be worn out.
Yeah, they were. I could go back and show you some tapes and when we first started this back in '86, Bill, about how worn out these fields were. 2nd and 6. Solasa won on that play. Allen has it off the left side, and he is tackled. A great tackle made. See his number when he gets up. And it looked like number 15 for Mission Viejo, who came in and wrapped them up below the knees. That's Jones with the tackle.
I like the Mission Viejo linebackers. These are active guys. Jones did a great job that time. Nips has been all over the field, and they're going to make a little change now. Mission Viejo is going to bring in number 3 on defense, and that's Brent Peterson, and he's going to be playing outside, and he's going to replace Brian Belgian, and that may be either to give him a little pass rush or have him come off the corner on defense.
So Alex Jones with that last tackle, Bill, a nice one. 3rd and 6. Going to pass it in the corner, and there's nobody home.
A little either miscommunication on the route, or, I can see the quarterback, Coviello, is now saying, hey, maybe we weren't quite on the same page.
4th and 6, Bill. What do? You go for a, they're going to look like sending the field goal unit.
Yeah, they're going to kick the field goal, get some points. Paul, you mentioned earlier that the time of possession was about even, and that's true. The difference is, during Mission Viejo's time of possession, they'd put 2 touchdowns on the board. San Clemente has gained a lot of yards, but points are critical.
2 times in the red zone, San Clemente has been denied a touchdown.
Tim Hollis right now with the field goal try.
29-yard attempt. It's up, it's good. So the kick is good. San Clemente gets on the board, and it's 6:33 to go in this first half. We'll be back 14-3 Diablos. Runs out and gets the tee, and he is running out to the San Clemente side where they just kicked off, and that is Billy. And Billy has been doing this for years, and we'll get a shot at him. I didn't tell my director, Marcus, our director tonight, Marcus, about that, but we're going to get a shot at Billy because Billy's been working with San Clemente and also Saddleback College for years, ever since I've been doing
30
this.
years.
30 years.
Billy Dunham. He's
Billy
been
Dunham.
around. His brother Tim, great basketball player, and then Tim was our punter at Saddleback, but Billy has been helping out. He's just a fixture here in South Orange County.
Sorry, Marcus, I didn't cue you on that. We just started talking about it. 6.5 to go here in the first half. And I'm talking about Marcus Williams, who's been doing a great job all year long, producing the game of the week along with Joe Marks, his associate producer. And a lot of fun to have those guys doing such a great job. And tonight especially, want to say thanks to the crew. We're a light crew tonight. And James Covarrubias, who's doing our stats, he has his phone right here. His wife could be calling any time because she is pregnant with their second child. So we want to wish him and his family the best. And James, as always, doing a great job with our stats. 2nd down and 10, Bill. What do you look for here?
Well, I look for a stat that says about 6 pounds, 10 ounces, right, James?
That's bowling, and he's a little bit bigger than that as he crushes over the 27, maybe gets to the 28.
I tell you, if that guy played for me, obviously his nickname would be Brunswick. Because he would be the bowling ball. Because he, you know, Steve Carnes was telling me tonight that is a really a fullback wrapped up in a tailback's body, because he's only about 175 pounds, but this is one tough football player. And look at Billy Brummel and those offensive linemen out there in front. These guys are just playing with great emotion tonight.
Bill, let me ask you this, and I know a little bit of what it feels like, but being on this side of it, and since as an athlete, I never really got to see myself on TV except for some of my skateboard stuff. But Mission Viejo, who gets beat last week by Modern Day, looks at themselves all week long on Channel 3. And they go to school and they know that they lost the game, and or I should say, they know that Modern Day won that game because Modern Day comes up with a good football team. What character they come out with tonight? How do you sum that up?
Well, I'll tell you what, for doing this most of my life, I think the thing that I am absolutely certain of is the uncertainty of football and sports in general. But I think there's one thing we can never, ever doubt, and that is the resiliency of young people.
Yeah.
For some of these guys, I think coaches, we could probably tell you every loss for the last 10 years. But these guys, for most of them, they go, you know what? This is another opportunity. It's a brand new night.
Yeah.
We can't do anything about last week, so let's go out tonight and play. It's senior night, and I'll tell you what, right now, it looks like they're having a ball.
A little bit of confusion down there as there was just a flag thrown and maybe too much time by Mission Viejo, but when they came up to the center, there was a little bit of confusion on both sides, it looked like to me, Bill.
Well, Steve Carnes is out there asking the official for...
I thought it was an official timeout at first, and the officials know obviously what the heck's going on, but they'll work it out here, and maybe they'll take that flag back. And the officials, and we talk about the guys that wear the stripes, and we have to mention them all year long. They have been doing a great job, and there they are. There's the Fran, who's been at so many games that we have done. Fran Orsini, who's been there. He's in the white hat.
That's Fran right there. Does a great job.
They'll tell you what's going on. He's actually, I think he's worn a microphone for us a couple times in the last couple of years. And they're trying to work this out. But again, they do a great job, and it's a shame sometimes when you see these guys have to put on jackets to walk to the parking lot because some parent is chasing them down. And I know in our community that seldom happens. They're going to wave off that flag as they discussed it, and that's the right thing to do because there was a certain amount of confusion down there. It just gave us a little chance to banter up here, Bill.
Well, you know what? I think you hit on a good point, too, when you talked about the officials. But when they have a question, and I think you just saw the democratic process in action there, they all get together. They bring up what the official will say to the guy that made the call, what do you have? What's your call? And then that official will tell him, they'll talk it over. If there's any dispute, they'll make sure they iron it out. Right now, Fran is over explaining the call to Steve Crapo. And, you know, coaches in this area, I don't see any of them that are ever jerks about this. When the official makes his decision, you go, okay, let's move on.
Yep. So this is a 3rd and 3, 5:25 to go. Good look at Dan Bowling, who's having a good night. Bill has nicknamed him Brunswick. He might have it already, but we'll coin it with Bill. A nice tackle from behind. San Clemente stopping him in the backfield. Coming up to make that play, number 40 for San Clemente from behind, Bill, and that's Brett Hadley.
I'll tell you what, that was a great football play. A couple of coming off the backside too, number 21, Jason Kim.
Yep, again.
And what a big play that was. So I see Steve Crapo over there pretty excited about the way his defense played, and they're going to get the ball back.
On 4th and 3, they'll have to punt it away. And
4:54 and counting.
They'll punt it from about his 14-yard line. Low snap. And it's a punt that goes off the side of the foot and right at the 40-yard line.
What a huge turnaround.
Yeah, and San Clemente is going to have pretty good field position. So the Tritons offensive unit marches back on the field. And while we have a moment also, you're taking a look at Fran, our umpire, our head official tonight, pardon me. But Harvey Oman, who's been doing the stadium announcing here at Mission Viejo High School, is looking great, sounding great, better than he ever has. And I want to say hello to him because he's kind enough to mention to all the spectators here when they can see the game on Channel 3.
Well, Harvey's lost about 26 pounds. He told me he looks
great.
great. He sounds good. I'm thrilled for him. He's taken that health thing to heart, and
it's so fun to see a man that has been doing this a long time, and every time you see him, he comes up and greets you and shakes your hand and says, "Hi, how you doing? When's this going to be on TV? When can I tell everybody?" Allen diving across the 40-yard line. Now we talk about San Clemente, as Coach Mark McElroy and Coach Steve Crapo told me in print about in our questionnaire to them. We want to run 80% of the time. We're going to run outside. When do they choose to run inside?
it can be a numbers game. The quarterback can check sometimes, or the spotter up in the box can say, hey, there are now 4 guys on the perimeter, 2 on each side. Let's look at the trap play. And in this case, they're going to keep running the perimeter until they, one of 2 things happen, Paul. Either those inside linebackers widen, or safeties begin to come up out of the secondary and play linebacker. And from up top here, you can look down and see, ooh, gosh, there's only 1 backer in the middle. Maybe it's time to run the trap. There's a penalty on that play. It's a clip.
I think it happened in the backfield. I'm not sure if it was
I
with,
think it did. Yep.
with James Allen and the guy he was tied up with or not. But it'll back him up a little bit here.
Now we go back to that last series on defense. What a huge play that was for the Tritons, stopping Mission Viejo on that 3rd down play. And so then they have a short punt. They get the ball back. But this is where you shoot yourself in the foot. This is a 15-yard penalty that takes the ball back to the 44-yard line. And so it's going to be 2nd down and 25. And I would think Mark, the way he likes to call plays, probably not going to try and get this all back in one play. Yep. But this is a critical series of downs, because at halftime you'd like to go in maybe 14-10. That might be, it would be a better situation.
Clock moving at 3:47. Coviello, McCormack has it across the 45, spins, moves down to the 40, and whenever I see a guy spin like that, first thing I'm thinking is fumble. If a guy coming from the blind side
right.
and hitting that ball.
You know, we used to play flag football when I was growing up, and you'd spin so they couldn't get your flag.
Yeah.
But what you also found is when you'd spin, you'd probably spin right into an elbow or something. This is the empty set. They use one of the inside guys to block. They sprint the quarterback out. This guy McCormack is a very talented football player.
Division I, Bill? Can he get to a Division I school, maybe?
You know, I think he's going to be a good college football player. I don't know about that stuff anymore. I used to say, you know, this guy's Division I, Division II. He's open again in the flat. There's the underneath guy.
And complete. San moving the ball up via the pass. And that's John Morgan that time. First time they've thrown to John.
They're going to call a
flag.
They're going to call a clip on McCormack, who was trying to block for Morgan. And boy, I tell you, I just mentioned I thought Mark would get it back in 2 plays. They did, with some to spare, but then there was a blocking below the waist.
See Mark McElroy pacing the sidelines, and he'll get 100 yards out there for the game, Mark McElroy, as he goes up and down the field. He's probably already got about 200 in this first half. Fran Orsini backing him up.
You know, it's so frustrating on offense. They just had 2nd and 25, and in 2 plays they gained 30 yards. And you go, gee, that's really great. And then you get a 15-yard penalty again. It's like Janet Jackson. You know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Ooh, Bill.
Am I going now? Get a little deep here. I was watching the Temptation special
that
last
was
Sunday and
fun.
Monday
That
night.
was good.
That's the music I grew up with.
I did
boy,
get
I
caught
tell
up
you
in
what.
watching that.
Yep.
What a story.
Here's empty again. Let's see how Mission Viejo chooses to defend it. They're pretty much in a man scheme right now.
3rd and 18. And you were only watching that in between the commercial breaks of the game of the week.
No question. I did it all.
And there was a jump on the left side of the Tritons. They might have a 3rd down at 23 after this is said and done. They're going to back it up. Normally, a San Clemente football team does not make that many mistakes in a game. They
Very rare.
might get them out of the way now in the second half. We'll have to find out on if they correct those mistakes or not.
It'll all be forgotten if they score on this play. You know what? Mark calls a timeout, and this is a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
He calls a timeout, and he's going to say, okay, let's regroup. Let's talk this over. And defensively, I think right now the Diablos are probably going to get a little softer. And that is, you know, with 2nd down and a mile, or 3rd down and a mile to go, you want to keep everybody in front of you.
Yeah. While we have the opportunity, I'd also like to thank the people here at Mission Viejo High School, the guys that shoot the game films for Mission Viejo, and also San Clemente. We come up and we literally take over the press box, and these gentlemen who do this week in and week out, because I used to do it, and I used to talk to them, and I'm on the other side of the camera from time to time, but I want to thank them for their cooperation tonight, and everywhere we've been this year. Those game filmers that have been doing what they do and making room for us, a little bit more room than is normally expected, so we thank them.
Well, you know, there's a good picture of Steve Carnes putting his glasses back on because he has to read something, like the rest of us that get to that point. Paul, the acceptance of what we do around here has just been terrific. You know, when we go to the different stadiums, the people at that school have always been very receptive, and of course, the coaches have been just terrific. I think the coaches get a big kick out of Bobby's interviews and stuff, too. And I think it's but sure fun for us. I'll tell you what, we have a ball doing this.
Well, Bill, you talked about getting 35 yards back or so in 2 plays. Now they've got to get it in one big bunch, and McCormack on the left side, they won't get it, so bring up a 4th down. You mentioned Bobby, Bill, and of course she's not here tonight. You haven't seen or heard from her. She's at home feeling underneath the weather, so we want to say hello. Bobby, we miss you, and you'll be back next week for what a game we have. Woodbridge
right.
and Santa Margarita.
Bobby, wish you were here, and hope you feel better very quickly so you can take care of this rascal on my left here. Now, you told me something a few minutes ago, and I can't wait to see it. Paul's going to be doing some stuff for ESPN where they do those motocross, those bike tricks on motorcycles,
yes,
those ramp things.
Phenomenal. It's a new thing they're doing, and you'll see a lot of that coming up as we kill some time talking about that as they punt this ball away. What a great punt by San Clemente. What a terrific
what a block by Jones.
Coming up is Vedran, who's seen a lot of the football tonight. There's a flag thrown on the 34-yard line. A great block, as Bill talked about. A great punt to begin with, and then a flag on the play.
I'll tell you what, the punter, number 44, Adam Little, just ripped one about 45 yards. And then as the return took place, there was a great block by Jones, and I think the clip might be called against Bob Young. Now, we'd have to see this at the end. Here's Vedran coming to our sideline, and you'll see number 15. Well, there was the guy flying out of the way, and I think there it is. There was the block below the waist that we just saw. And I tell you, Vedran has done a great job today.
He sure has. They're backing Mission Viejo up to about the 16-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 with 2:37 to go in this first half. It's been a good one. Started off with firecrackers by Mission Viejo, and San Clemente tried to get in the end zone 2 times, and they couldn't do it. They had to settle for a field goal. Coming right back at you on the left side, Vedran over the 20-yard line. Again, we want to thank the Touchdown Club of San Clemente and also the cheerleading squad tonight from Mission Viejo. If you get a chance to go to a football game, if you live in this area and you see the lights on Friday night, come check them out. Just watch the band. And I have to say that I believe this is, what, our 7th game of the year, Bill? Is that right?
8th.
8th game of the year. I'm getting confused.
Actually, it's our 9th game of the year. There's only one left before the playoffs.
That's right. It is our 9th game.
Can you believe that?
Where the heck did I go? But the band tonight, the national anthem, was spectacular.
Yeah, it was.
The pitch, the draw, gets it again. He wants some of that back from the penalty. Number 25 for San Clemente coming up and making the hit.
I'll tell you, I really, really like what they're doing right now.
Frank Nook?
Frank Wilk. Frank Wilk is coming up from the secondary, number 35. And I think the pitch play, when you have a line this big and guys that can pull and run a little bit, is just...
Someone just came up and said we have more food coming. Now, who are
Thank
you?
you
Who are you?
so much.
Stephanie. What is Stephanie?
And my son scored the touchdown, number 10.
We were just talking about him. Oh, so proud of him. When talking to Steve Carnes about your son, he said that he's got to be a good player through hard work and perseverance. So, thank you so much for all of this. Is this great?
Okay, well, thank you very much. Mrs. LeClaire and also Mrs. Honiford, who's coming up here to try to put some meat on our bones. And
we must look like skinny, emaciated guys.
Well,
this is so nice.
I gotta go jogging tomorrow.
So
31.
nice of these people.
A minute 52. Anybody in the truck want any food? Come up and see us. We're talking about our television truck.
Mrs. Honeyford sure proud of Alex, and she said that's the first touchdown in his high school career.
That's amazing. I didn't know, and we got it on TV.
Big first down there for the Diablos because they hang on to the football, and with a minute and 45 seconds and counting in this first half, they're probably not going to have to give it back. So,
but you know, you've seen
that 14-3
a junior quarterback with Mission Viejo, and also you've got a sophomore quarterback with the San Clemente. Those two guys are doing a pretty good job of organizing their football team out there.
Well, they have, and they're, you know, here's Honeyford or Hudgens with the pass, and there's Billy Brummel on the corner route.
He gets brought down from behind, out there scraping with him, and number 21 for San Clemente coming up to make the tackle once again is Jason Kim.
You know, before the game, I'm talking to a couple of the coaches about the modern day thing where I was saying the tight end might be open in the corner.
Yep.
And that's the play. That was it. A little play action. And Hudgens did a nice job with the ball fake. And then Billy Brummel with a nice corner route. There's the throw. You can see Brummel wide open in the secondary. And you know, I'm happy for Billy. That's a big night. I've known that guy since he was knee-high to a grasshopper. That's a long time.
A minute to go in the half.
Oh,
what a great play as he sneaks away and eludes two tackles.
You know, number 44, Adam Little, just came blasting into the backfield, and Padron bounced off of him like a Super Ball there.
They list him at 5'8", 170. He's a senior.
You know, Paul, a second ago we were talking about the Diablos running the clock out. Well, after that pass play to Billy Brummel, with 35 seconds left, they've got a chance to get on the board again.
And it's not going to stay at 14-3, I can tell you that right now. Man in motion. Mission Viejo, Hudgens back to pass, and he's got a man, and it's going to be a touchdown. Touchdown, Diablos.
Honigford again. That's his second touchdown of his high school career.
Smith tried to knock the ball away. His gamble did not pay off, and Honigford, as Bill said, connects with Hudgens, and the Diablos lead this 20-3.
Well, I tell you what, it was the same route they ran the first time. It's a twist route, and Honigford comes in motion. You can see the outside receiver just went by the camera. He runs a post, and Alex runs that little twist or wheel route, and he takes that throw over the defender, and Hudgens with a nice toss. And Paul, what a breakout that is. The extra point by Jesse Harmon, and it is now 21-3. Mission Viejo, and we've got about 22 seconds left in the half, and boy, that went from run out the clock to put another one on the board.
You called it. 6 plays, Bill, 83 yards.
Now
two pass plays, and that one of those was a touchdown, which amounted to 30 yards for the TD. So
I hope Mrs. Honigford saw it. She was up here with us, and she was going to get us chili.
Yeah,
and if she missed it, you know what? You know where we're going to get that chili. Dumped right on our heads there.
21-3, halftime, just moments away. 22 seconds, as Bill said. Honigford with his second TD. And you know what? Maybe on this time, does he come out and get it every time?
He does every time. Well, no, excuse me. Only when San Clemente kicks off. We'll get Billy Dunham on TV again.
Well, we're going to have Mission Viejo kick it off here. And again, as I was saying, if you get a chance and you see the lights on at Mission Viejo on a Friday night, you've got a couple weeks left, I believe, as we'll tell you about their schedule. If they get in the playoffs, they've got a couple weeks left. They can win tonight and win next week. They'll get in the playoffs.
I was asking Steve Jenniser tonight about Taylor Jenniser. You know, he's playing on the Cowboys. And I said, is he here tonight? He said, no, he's got a little cough. So he said, you know, he was mad at me because I made him stay home.
Watch out, Bill.
There it is.
Mission Viejo gets the ball.
Got it back, I think. And now you go for a big shot right now.
They were not trying the onside kick. They're trying a squib kick, and it ricocheted off of Triton, and the Diablos are right there.
18 seconds is enough time for about 3 plays. And I think that the one thing that you want to be a little careful about now is that you don't get too giddy and throw an interception or something that might be run back. So there's the Diablo, and
and they're going to spike the ball down and run out the clock.
Mrs. Huntingford up here is just a little excited, which is wonderful.
This brought up James Covarrubias a whole pizza for his family. Our stats man, 17 seconds left.
I told you, he's a Eric Estrada lookalike. It's my man James.
I told him you like pizza, Bill, so that's why they brought up that pizza.
Pizza for me and
I'm
chili
sorry,
for you.
We should not be talking about this.
That's right, that's food.
It's going to get us in a lot of trouble.
That's right.
But 17 seconds left to go in the game. Pardon me, not in the game, in the half.
Now Steve just sent out Hudgens with maybe 2 plays, because with 17 seconds left, if you complete a ball inbounds, they'll move the chains, and then the clock will stop. The officials now, and this is good mechanics, side judge is sliding back down the field because the chance of this play is going to be downfield.
Hudgens back to pass, and this is going to be intended for number 4 that time, a diving Diablo as he dives out of bounds. That's Bob Young, and the first time they've gone to Bob tonight.
I think you can still get 2 more plays. With 12 seconds left, possibility you can get 3 more. But
you must be Mrs. LeClaire. McAllister. Okay.
Thank you. This is so nice.
I don't know why. Oh my God. I wish we could show you.
We're going to have to go to Weight Watchers tomorrow.
We're going to get a food cam and just put it on a big tripod at a high angle and show you what's going on up here. It's amazing.
Here's a hitch and pitch. There it is.
You called it, Bill. Padron has it. And Padron gets knocked out of bounds.
Still 5 seconds left.
McCormack comes up and makes the play.
You know, they're doing the whole bag of tricks, which is so fun. I like this. But we want to thank, again, the mom of Alex Honigford and the mom of number 64, Darren LeClaire, for bringing us up some treats.
And I think we heard a Mrs. McAllister. Is that too?
Now, there's Steve talking to Hudgens, and he's probably telling him, look, we have one shot here. And San Clemente is probably going to be in a little bit of a prevent kind of a look, but you want to get this off.
Bedron,
avoid the sack.
Bedron in motion, and they're almost intercepted. They were going to Bedron, and that is almost picked off by number 41 that time, and that's Brian Hadley, who's been busy tonight.
You know what? They're going to get 4 plays off in 18 seconds. That's pretty good.
And that's a junior quarterback.
That is pretty good.
You know, they've gotten lucky a little bit with the guy going out of bounds just moments ago, knocked out of bounds by San Clemente, so that stopped the clock.
We want to tell Marcus, our producer, that we sent your food to Garden Grove.
Because you're going to need to lose some weight by the time you get there to eat it. We all are. We'll do 440s after this. But when you take a look at what Mission Viejo has done in this first half, Bill, the last 4 quarters that they've played in, going back 1 week ago, pretty solid football.
Very solid, and they obviously missed those 2 guys that had the serious knee injuries, Ryan O'Connor and Joey Reed, but I saw both of them on the sideline tonight. Joey's already had his operation. Ryan's got a brace on waiting for his operation. And, you know, those kinds of things can go both ways, Paul. You can say, oh, gosh, we feel sorry for ourselves. We lost a couple of great players. Or you can say, all right, who's going to step up?
That's right.
And tonight, Honigford stepped up and played a great game. But, you know, I think the players realize that, you know, this only comes around one time.
That's right.
So you just give it your best shot and see what happens. And tonight, the Diablos are just on fire.
Last play, pardon me, Bill, last play of the first half, and unless there's a defensive penalty, they send the man in motion. That's Young. Hudgens back to pass. Pretty good coverage downfield. They're going for it and incomplete. So that will be the last play of the first half. And the first half has been brought to you by Cox Digital TV. For information on Cox Digital TV and 130 plus channels with CD quality sound, call 240-1212. Score 21-3 coming up. Highlights of the first half at halftime. We'll have that right after this.
Honey, remember the big screen TV we've been thinking about getting?
But can we afford it?
We can now. Real-Time Sight and Sound has a new 50-inch Mitsubishi big screen TV on sale for just $18.99. That's the lowest price ever for a 50-inch big screen.
Just $18.99? That's great.
Plus, there's no down payment, no payments, no interest till the year 2000.
Until the year 2000? Are you sure you heard right?
He heard right. No money down, no payments, and no interest until the year 2000. Only at Real-Time Summer Clearance Sale. Real-Time Sight and Sound, Coast Highway and Golden Lantern, Dana Point.
Mita Color Imaging Systems. Nothing delivers more brilliant, vibrant, vivid color than Mita from FKM Copier products. From desktop to print on demand, Mita offers a family of affordable solutions. Color documents that make your business more competitive. FKM Copier products. The guaranteed service and support you need to win new business. More choices, better choices. Mita from FKM Copier products.
Because life keeps us going a mile a minute, there's not much time to finish your college degree. But the Yes You Can education plan at Southern California College offers you the opportunity to finish what you've started. Attend participatory classes just one night a week and graduate in little as 16 months. Earn a degree in organizational management, ministry and leadership, or even psychology with plenty of time for your full-time job and your family. Finish what you've started at Southern California College. Call 888-9-DEGREE.
One of the kids came up to me and said, "What happened? What have you been doing this summer?" Because they realized how smart I became just over the summer.
It makes me feel really good inside since I know math now. It makes me feel like so happy.
At Sylvan Learning Center, 8 out of 10 students improve their math or reading skills by 1 full grade level in only 5 months.
For once, I really like school.
Call Sylvan today at 1-800-EDUCATE. Success is learned.
Just putting on an unbelievable show tonight is the Mission Viejo band. Just look at them. They are orchestrated so well out there. Been doing a great job all halftime long. The same is true for Mission Viejo Diablos in the first half. 21-3 right now over the San Clemente Tritons. We'll show you some halftime highlights, and they pretty much were in favor of the Diablos as well as the score. Band and the cheer song getting a great round of applause tonight.
Color guard down, everybody.
Yep.
What a job they've done.
We
Wow.
take you to Hutchins right here, and he hands it off, and it was 6 plays. Bowling gets in for a touchdown. That started him off, Bill.
Yes, that was a drive off the interception by Bedron. Now we have nice play action. And you see Hutchins with a nice touch on the ball, and this is Alex Honig's for his first touchdown as a varsity football player. Well, as Mom said, first one in his career.
Yep.
So
that was
a special one.
8 plays, 80 yards, 7 runs, and only 1 pass, and that was for a TD. Here is the field goal made by Tim Hollins, and that was from 23 yards out. That made it 14-3. Diablos, they come back in the second quarter. Hutchins and Honiford again.
There's the twist route. We saw the inside receiver breaking to the post. Honigford on the twist route. And Smith is just about an inch too short for that ball, and Honigford takes it in for his second touchdown of the night.
So that made it 21-3 as the Diablos march off the field. We get set for the second half. We'll have it for you right after we take a look at these halftime stats. And how about this? As you look at the score, 21-3, first downs pretty much even, Bill, and this is not too unbalanced, except as you go down to that last column, turnovers.
That and then passing yards. Mission Viejo's thrown for 121, San Clemente only 30, but we kind of expected that would be the ratio for San Clemente. And we see the Diablo out there, the cheerleading squad. We want to thank them again for everything they've done for us tonight. But I'll tell you what, just another special note, the Mission Viejo band and color guard, spectacular. What a phenomenal job tonight.
Taking a look right there in the center of your screen, Breanne Wallace and her dad, Paul Wallace, helping us out tonight with all the extra goodies they have brought up to us. 21-3 at halftime. We'll be back with the third quarter right after this.
At Denault's True Value Hardware, help is just around the corner. Since 1956, you've counted on our experience and knowledge to help you get your job done right. Today, more than ever, we're dedicated to providing you with the service you deserve. Denault's is your #1 source for paint. Our True Value paint shop carries a full range of styles and over 2,000 different colors of True Value paint to choose from. We carry a great selection of painting supplies, and custom color matching is always free. Denault's True Value Hardware, 5 convenient locations throughout South Orange County.
Nice view.
Yeah, it sure is.
Want to race down the mountain?
What?
You and me, down the mountain. Look, they tell me the Subaru can outcorner your BMW. Come on. It'll be fun.
In tests, an all-wheel drive Subaru outcornered a BMW 318i.
Isn't that?
For the latest edition of Foresters and Outbacks, check out Irvine Subaru. Well, these people are very excited on the Mission Viejo side, 21-3. Some of the students body here at Mission Viejo High School. And you know what? They're young. They don't look it, but it's chilly out here. Bill, you're doing the two-step drop over here.
Yeah, it's good. This is football weather.
It is. San Clemente coming onto the field, and what a great, we're going to stay right here with you with the Mission Viejo Diablos, and they've got a great banner. And it says Mission Viejo Diablos on it. You're going to run through that banner in just a second. And if we can get a shot of that thing, because I tell you
what. Not going to last long.
A lot of work they put into putting this thing together.
Good.
There it goes.
Yep.
Wonderful job by the Diablos.
It's
student
about
body.
3 hours to paint it and about 2 seconds to tear it down.
Boy.
Guess what I get to do tomorrow?
This is great.
This is great. I get a chance to fly over to Phoenix and watch Cal and Arizona State. And Justin Vetter, the Cal quarterback, and right across the line of scrimmage from him, Joe Chesta, his former teammate at Saddleback and roommate, starting at linebacker for Arizona State.
I think they're going to see each other tomorrow.
Oh, they might.
On a couple different plays.
Two very good friends, but tomorrow it will be a battle because they're both pretty competitive guys.
I want to let you know that the third quarter is being brought to you by Dewey's TV Home and Appliances in San Clemente. Come on down and see Dewey's. They have all kinds of different appliances for your home, including Dewey's giant TV selection. They have the latest in digital technology and big screen televisions featuring Mitsubishi, Sony, and many more. And their prices are great. That's Dewey's in San Clemente. Check them out.
Paul, it's dropped 10 degrees in the last 20 minutes.
It's definitely gotten cooler.
You know, you can tell where California is. Probably at least 50.
I'll be in Connecticut on Monday, so I think I'll be a little bit more in shock. We're underway here in the second half as San Clemente kicks the ball off to the Diablos. Vedran picks it up. Vedran across the 25, and he is sent flying through the air before he's brought down. We will see the Diablos on offense first, and Hudgens is their quarterback, a junior quarterback who's been doing a good job.
There's Billy Dunham out there again. We'll get a picture of Billy later on.
Hudgens, Vedran, and Bowling. I just ran into Dan Bowling's dad, and I told him his son is having a heck of a game. The guys up front, including Brian Belgium. Boy, that right guard doing a good job. Hunnenberg with 2 touchdowns tonight. Bob Young and Brummel, both of those guys have touched the football tonight. Be first down at 10 as we're just underway here in the second half. Ball control will definitely play a big part of this third quarter. San Clemente coming up to make the play defensively, and we'll take a look at the Tritons. And you see Smith there. What a nice young man that guy is. And defensively, this is how they stack up with the Tritons up front on the defensive line. And they're big, and they like to try to send that offensive line back and get that running back. The linebackers doing a good job tonight as well. Hadley Hogg and Jason Kim, numerous tackles throughout the evening. Co-captain of this football team. Spinning, Vedran, and it'll bring up third down and about 7, Bill.
2 nice plays back-to-back on defense by Joey Kinney, number 8. And Mission Viejo comes out in that wing formation, and they do want to pound it. When you're ahead 21-3 right now, in the first half, even though 2 of your scores came on passes, the real thing you need to do now with a 21-3 lead is grind that clock and try not to give San Clemente the football. Here's the wing formation once again.
3rd and a long 6.
Play
Hutchins,
action,
they've got
wide
man
open.
on Bedron. Bedron down the middle of the field. What a great catch.
Now that little play we talked about last week, when you put the wing formation out there, you send the wing guy to the corner and you send the tight end to the flat. And off of play action, Paul, that is just, it's probably my favorite play in short yardage situations and down near the goal line.
Yep.
And when you've got a guy like Bedron that can run, he's deep. Billy Brummel's in the flat. And Hudgens did a nice job on play action.
Good catch by Bedron so far. He hasn't gotten in the end zone, but he has played a great game. 1st and 10, 21-3 Diablos. Bedron again, he is their go-to guy. And you know, he's a little guy, and 9 times out of 10, Bill, if he's not spinning, he's gonna run you over. At least try to.
You know, I was looking at Adam Dimmick that time, the pulling guard coming outside, and when you see 6'2" and 260 pounds coming at you, and you're the corner, and that's number 2 outside Chris Smith, and you're 5'6" and 150
That's
pounds,
right.
duck and cover.
Harvey Ullman, I hear him in the background talking about after the game, there's a party at one of the Diablos houses when the parents hold a party, and they've been doing that for years.
Paul, as long as I've been in the county, they've been doing that.
Yep. 2nd and 6. Maybe an illegal procedure call here. We'll see what Fran Orsini is going to call, and yes, it will be backed up 5. Officials again.
You know what? If you watch him do that again, I think he watched the Temptation
Temptations.
special.
Yep.
There's
Well,
no
it's
question.
Otis is the only surviving member.
Can you imagine
I can't.
that?
And then what, 55 years old the
Oh,
most?
brother. I mean,
what a great story, the
I just
Motown.
grew up going to watch them in concert and on TV, and my goodness.
Well, just like the heyday of Motown, nowadays, of course, you got rap and hip-hop and a mixture of rock and roll. But Motown was it back in the day.
Honigford.
Honigford, who has 2 TDs tonight, spins and gets his way up to the 25-yard line.
What a good use of that young man's talents. And that time Hudgens just threw him a dart. And the quicker you can get that pass out there on the hitch, the more time that Alex has to beat the defender.
That's right.
You know, the one thing about that, not to get off the subject too far, I just love that music, though. It just, when you look at all of the work the man did, you really see the genius of Smokey Robinson.
Yeah.
You know, he wrote so many of those songs.
They waited for a hit, and they finally got it. 1st and 10. Nobody else knows what the heck we're talking about.
That's
huh?
right. Oh, what a
But
good
drop
play in the
gets
secondary.
tackled.
Little comes flying in there.
And now they need a big play right now. You talk about the first possession of the 3rd quarter, Bill. Every coach will talk about it. Every announcer will talk about it. But it really is crucial for the second half of the game.
Remember, we talked about it as an adjustment possession, and that is, what did you do at halftime? You put everything up on the board. You come out in the second half, and you say, all right, these are the blocking adjustments we have to make. And in some cases, you come out and say, hey, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. And Mission Viejo and 2 tight ends. Now they go hitch and go.
Young in the corner. He's got a good. Oh,
nice defensive play.
And that's McCormack. He knows how to catch the football, and he knocks that one down. Almost had a pick.
See, that's a nice sequence. They went hitch, then they went hitch and go, and you got that corner to kind of jump on it a little bit. And this is a big night for Alex Honigford. He's having a great night.
Bill, we were talking about, I was asking you about the 4-4 and the 4-3 defense that San Clemente approaches this game with.
What happens, Paul, the 4-3 is the base defense, has 4 guys in the secondary. It becomes a 4-4 when your strong safety comes up and plays almost as a linebacker. Gives you 8 guys at the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 12. Hudgens with plenty of time. Just off the fingertips, intended for Young, I believe, out there, number 10.
Doing a good job.
I'm sorry, pardon me, Honigford.
They're doing a good job right now, and especially Hudgens, on making the play action look exactly like the handoff on the power. And play action passes are no good unless they look like run plays.
That's right.
And now we're going to have a field goal attempt of, my goodness, this is going to be a 40. Where's he putting the tee? He's putting the tee on the 35. This is a 45-yard attempt.
Jason Elam would be
and the
happy
quarterback, Hudgens, is back there, and he's going to give this a rip.
High snap, and the kick, it's going to be to the right, just shy. about 3 yards shy, so not too bad attempt. And San Clemente holds defensively, so they'll get the ball back. But Bill, you look up at the clock, 4 minutes, almost 4 minutes have burned off the clock.
They've done exactly, I think, what the plan was at the start of the third quarter, and that is stick with the running game, and then when you throw, allow the throw to come off of your best running play. Good play action stuff.
Coviello, the quarterback, and Allen in the backfield for San Clemente. And again, a good offensive front line for the Tritons. Brad Buddy helping those guys out. And then you see the wide receivers and the tight end. And look at this, first play on offense. They get a first down and more. And San Clemente with that first down. We'll take a look at the Mission Viejo Diablos on defense. As bringing that ball at that time, number 30, Bruce Rossetti. And defensively, the Diablos, Glassford, Leclerc, Rendell, and Belgian up front. And the linebackers, Jones, Nips, and Rendez. And then the secondary, Padron, who's having a great game, Schultz, Young, and Whitting. And oddly enough, they're not testing Schultz tonight. He had a great second half in Modern Day's game, but San Clemente doesn't pass a whole lot.
We haven't seen Resty run the ball like that. Here he comes in motion again. He's going to run it again. Oh, he loses his footing, but Resty that time really with a chance to pop one outside. And, you know, we've seen McCormick in that position, and now Resty is running the ball off that little sweep action. And, boy, I tell you what.
Roesti.
And it's kind of a, that's the
I said
southern
Rossetti, boy.
French pronunciation of the Italian derivative of.
I like that name.
Okay, now
second and 6.
Double wing. Let's see who goes in motion.
A lot of different formations.
Going to bring Resty in motion. There's the trap.
Allen has
There's the trap.
Stays on his feet to the 42-yard line.
Remember you asked earlier about when do you run that thing? And they've run sweep, 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 and now the linebackers start to widen out, and then you pop that trap, and Allen, the safety is the guy you have to beat. The linebacker's going to get blocked if they do it correctly. And Schultz is back there at safety, and remember last week he was at corner. I think he's a real natural free safety.
First and 10, 7 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the third quarter. Diablo's still looking for their first touchdown. Going to back him up here. Somebody jumped in the backfield. So the touchdown club of the Tritons looking for 6 points. Orsini would tell you that they're going to back him up 5.
He's saying, my girl.
Was that their first hit? No, what was their first hit? Slips my mind. It was a 4-hour TV show.
Yeah. I can tell you, I've got them all on CDs.
And oddly enough, Bill, Bobby and I rented a couple movies, and we went with the 5-day rental. And of course, you wait till the 5th night to watch the second movie, and we didn't watch it because we watched
of course,
Temptation.
Of course.
Oh my goodness, it was good TV that night. First and 15.
Over here more.
They're going to run the same play they started to. Allen looking for the hole when he finds it, steps to his left, and he gets some of that yards back, and it'll be a second down. Call it a second and about 6.5, 7 yards.
Paul, if there are folks out there watching this show that go back a ways in football, that was a cross buck. Now that goes back to the 30s.
How does Mark
40s,
McElroy know about the cross buck?
Well, you know, football.
That's a knife in my category.
Football has really not changed all that much over the years.
Okay.
I mean, the passing game's become more sophisticated.
Do you think he knows that name, crossbuck?
I don't know. But it's a kind of a crossing action in the backfield between the two running backs. And
who's Buck?
There it is again. There's
Allen.
the inside handoff on that play.
Where'd they get Buck from?
Well, the cross buck, there was a buck and lateral formation and system, and it was you would buck into the line. That was the old term in the 30s and 40s.
Okay.
And in buck and lateral, they would snap it to the single wing tailback. He'd run toward the line of scrimmage. The guy behind the guard, the quarterback, even though he wasn't under center, would turn around. That guy running the line of scrimmage would hand it to him, and he'd pitch it back to somebody.
That's a lot of.
Oh, I tell you what.
Maneuvering.
All the misdirection, and here's, see that's the cross buck series again.
And they get a first down.
Back through.
And they're pretty darn close to it. They're going to get the first down.
So basically what it is McElroy could have coached in the 30s. He could go back with Pudge Heffelfinger And Clark Shaughnessy,
Well,
tell me what Clark Shaughnessy did, you know?
I sure punting the ball.
No.
Just wild. That's as wild guess as you're going to get.
He was not a motocross rider. He was the father of the modern T formation. Clark Shaughnessy.
I was going to say he came up with the laces on the ball.
That was Ernie Schmidlack.
21-3. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Play action.
Nobody's open.
Now see, that's one of the things that Coviello is going to have to learn. He threw that into almost triple coverage. And as Mark was telling me tonight, this guy has skills. He's going to be a great player, but he's only a 10th grader. And what he'll learn is that after you make that fake and you search out in the secondary, there are times when you might want to throw that one into the 5th row of the bleachers.
Well, talking to Mark McElroy and Steve Crapo, we asked them about, you know, who has the best attitude on the team. He said, our entire team has the best attitude.
Oh, isn't that
He
nice?
said, if you had a group like this, he could coach forever.
Isn't that nice?
2nd and 10, 4:45 to go in the third quarter, just shy of the 30-yard line. Around the left side, the Tritons go one more time.
You know, Paul, one of the really nice things about this offense is that with all these sweeps, you are essentially working against perimeter defenders. You try and seal off all those big guys inside and say, you know, hey, why should we try and run against that front? And then you start looking at those guys in the film right there. And Steve Rendell, 6'4", 265. LeClaire, 306. There's some big guys in there, so they're choosing to play perimeter football.
Once again, a 3rd and 7.
Screen.
Allen has it.
Touchdown.
Allen has it. Yeah, he's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Tritons.
Great call. Great call. And to your left, one of the great receivers ever to play in this county, Dan Zamora.
21-9 right now. 21-9. And we told you when it was 14-3 that we didn't think there was going to be, the score was not going to stay the same at 14-3, and it has not. It's changed up a little bit.
You know, Paul, look at the play sequence there. They went sweep, 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 cross buck, fake the sweep, throw the screen. What a nice series on offense. And you can see as the receiver takes that thing, number 24, James Allen, he wasn't touched. Now they're going to go for 2 right here, Paul. They're in the 2-back offense. 21-9. They'd like to get it to 21-11 if they can. Oops, there's guys jumping everywhere. And I think that San Clemente moved. And Coach McElroy is ready to probably take a small hammer and hit himself in the head right now. There's illegal procedure, and that puts you back. Now it's on the 8-yard line, and now you've got to kick the ball. So they're going to go for the extra point, make it 21-10. The kicker, number 1, Tim Hollis, and Tim is going to try and knock this in from about 25 yards away. There's the kick, it's up, and it is no good. So 2 bad things. They jump when they're down on the 3-yard line, and then they miss the extra point.
21-9. With the mascot from Mission Viejo behind us, we'll go to a break.
What's so different about Cox Communications phone service? Let's see. Same dial tone. Same ringing. Hello? Same mom. The real difference? It's on my bill. Guaranteed savings on local service, toll calls within California, a nickel a minute, anytime. And a second line is a lot less. Call now and start saving on your bill. Mom, how'd you get this thing?
It takes a revolution to make a solution.
I was looking for a solution, then an air and noise pollution. Yesterday she came around and said, let's start a revolution. I said, I don't want to go, I want to hang around at home. Go!
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Game of the Week. I'm Paul Higgins along with Bill Cunity, and you're watching Channel 3 Sports. and it's a good one. I think this one might even get a little closer than it is, Bill, if San Clemente can hold off Mission Viejo offensively. But Mission Viejo has put together 2.5 really good quarters of football. Actually, let's go back and say 4.5 really good quarters of football.
They have, but I think this is a critical series. At 3:49 left in the third quarter, and right now, I think even though they have had the momentum and they've really controlled the football game to this point, you see good picture Steve Carnes there. This is a critical drive because San Clemente kind of fired up right now. They're getting back in this game.
And they're going to run it on the first play, and they're going to get a huge gain as Bowling crushes over the 50-yard line. You know, Hudgens right now 6 for 11, Bill. 167 yards and 2 TDs throwing the football.
He is a work in progress. He's really developing.
We go back to the touchdown right here. Once again, nice play fake.
Fake cross buck, fake sweep, screen, and let me tell you what, nothing but stripes and grass.
You talk about cross buck and all that kind of stuff, Bill, and I talk about Indy 720s and 540s.
Yeah, you know that.
You know, there's a whole different language in these sports.
When you get into that skateboard, that double pneumatic slug line looper thing that Tony Hawk does, you know. There's the trap again.
Right up the middle. Bowling, he's loose. He's down to the 30, down about the 27-yard line. Quick. Once he gets that ball, he's so quick going up the middle.
Let me tell you, the guy made a great block. Adam Dimmick down there just made a great trap block. He and number 77, Todd Backert. You never give enough credit to those guys up front. But Dan Bowling, if you said, what play does Mission Viejo run that has a chance of scoring? Go back to last year, all of last season and this season, it's the trap to Bowling. Now that means that the center and the guards are doing their job and the tackles, but Bowling runs north and south.
He sure
about
does.
as well as anybody in the county.
Yeah. I knew what you were going to say, Bill. 21-9. The pitch. The ball is in the air, getting it back. Oh, a great defensive play. 84 comes up for the San Clemente Tritons and making that play.
That's 34. That's our safety man again.
Mike Hogue.
That's Mike Hogue coming up, and you know, there's a good picture of Mike. He's not a big guy. He's 5'10", and you can see him on the pitch. Badron gets the handle on it, but look, here comes the Rocket Man.
That's great. He's so quick, and that's why he's leading the team in tackles. And Badron did a good job of holding on to the football.
See, you know what? You're becoming an expert at this game. You know now the difference between 4-4 and 4-3 and how they create the 4-4. You add one number to 4-3 and you have 4-4. Oh!
Short middle screen to Badron, and
you know what they're going to call? No, they're going to call lineman downfield because number 6, Badron, was across the line of scrimmage, and a guy that almost made the play in there was Joshua Pridham, number 45, and there's Fran Orsini, and he's saying illegal lineman downfield. Now, that's a loss of down, so this ball is going to be moved. Let's see. Fran is standing on the 40-yard line. He's going to give the signal. Illegal lineman downfield. Decline. They're going to take the advance of the down.
Bill, I want to make mention, too, that the San Clemente Tritons playing without one of their key players, captain tonight, Daniel Montesinos, who's a 3-year starter. He broke his fibula earlier in the year, and sorry to hear about that. We talked about him on Coach's Corner. Of course, his brother, Oscar, another great football player. But again, Daniel, I know the team's thinking about you. You definitely have been an inspiration to the Triton football team, so I want to add that in there.
Great to touch on that because Steve told me he was a tremendous player.
21-9. We have a 3rd down and 20. 2:09 to go in the third. Hudgens back to pass, and this one is intercepted by San Clemente.
Momentum change. This is a momentum change, and that was McCormick.
Well, you talk about McCormick. We asked Coach Mark McElroy who has the most athletic ability on his team, and he said probably, probably Chris McCormack.
I think that's obvious watching this guy play. That he plays on both sides of the ball. He's their leading rusher and their leading receiver, and then he intercepts the ball on defense.
Bill, on fourth, it would have been 4th down and long. He makes that interception. I think he does the right thing instead of knocking that ball down. I think if you get a chance to get the ball, take it.
Yeah, because you can't tell what happens on the next play. You got to do what you can do at that moment. There are some points in the game when knocking it down would be correct.
And remember Coach Bill Cunity talking about that cross buck and all the different misdirection that San Clemente offered in that last drive. Will they come out? In your thoughts, if you're the defensive coordinator of Mission Viejo, are you telling your guys, hey, look for this crossbuck?
Well,
they did it so many times, left and right on that last drive.
They've been in more two-back set than I've seen them the other times I've seen them this season. And when you have two backs in the backfield and you run that motion thing, it gives you one more option.
Yep.
You've got not just the motion man and the single back, but now they've got two backs. And when Danny Zamora played for us, we had a play called a laser. And just exactly like this. Man in motion, hand it off, fake it, play action pass.
Completed.
There it is.
Hitch and pitch.
That didn't fool Badron. You know why? You know why that didn't fool Badron? Because he runs the hitch and pitch for Mission Viejo, so he knows what's going on out there. Robert Badron, he's done yeoman job tonight on offense and defense. And the Tritons get a first down out of that play. Both teams have run the hitch and pitch. Both teams have some things out of the grab bag, and they're all working. And very, very impressive show, I think, tonight by both sides. Teams battling for the playoffs.
Smith going off the field for San Clemente. 1st and 10, 1:13 to go in the quarter. Diablos have held the lead the entire time. McCormack in motion. Coviello, short pass. Ooh, dangerous pass. Intended for Allen.
You know, Jones right in the way of that pass. And he really, Alex Jones is a very, very active linebacker. And whenever the motion man, and this is a kind of a little bit of a tip-off, that if you're Mission Viejo and you're on defense, whenever the motion man goes past the quarterback, in other words, when the ball is snapped and he's still by the quarterback, it's a handoff. When he goes past him, every time it's been a pass. Empty formation.
2nd and 10. Coviello rolls to his left, chooses to pass it. Boy,
wow.
That was really close. McCormack got it, and the defender got there. That was a boom, boom play.
Paul Whiting and the ball arrived at the same time. McCormack made the catch, but Paul was right there with the tackle.
This one's going to go down in the wire. You can feel it.
Now they're going to measure this, and it looks, let's see, if that down marker is where I think it is, this is going to be about maybe 6 inches short. Okay. Let's see with my radio keratotomy over there. Paul, it's exactly 6 inches short of the first down.
Okay, now for the 35-hour outback.
Now, we're going to have 3rd, and we'll call it just a couple of inches for the first down. 1:01 left in the 3rd quarter. Again, when both teams are running the ball as much as they are, this is going to go by quickly. But the change of possession on the interception kind of keeps momentum on the Triton side right now, even though they're down, in this case, 21-9.
Who do you give it to here? Maybe James Allen?
I think what you do probably is you put McCormack in motion, and then you run a lead play or a cross buck, probably to James Allen, yeah.
Coviello has not kept it tonight yet. He hasn't needed to. Maybe he does it here.
Quarterback's going to keep it. That's a follow. We used to call that a follow play, and that is you fake to the back coming through, and then you just get right on his hip with the football.
And he followed McCormack.
That's why they called it
the follow
play.
All right, Bill.
All right.
Bill, you know,
hey, you are going to go back to ESPN, and you're going to say, okay.
What's a cross? I'm going to go talk to your friend Chris Mortensen.
Go to Chris Mortensen and say, Chris, we've been talking about the crossback.
He'll take out a Swiss Army knife. 1st and 10, 21-9, winding down here in the 3rd quarter.
Empty backfield.
And
double
pass.
Double pass. Now McCormack made a smart move, Paul. He saw that the double pass was well covered. So all he did was gain 6 yards on his own. Smart football player.
That is a good football player and well coached. You talk about Steve Crapo and also Mark McRoy. I want to remind you this portion of the Game of the Week is being brought to you by Irvine Subaru. Check out their latest edition of the Subaru Outback and the Forester. Irvine Subaru. And it's right across the street from the Irvine Auto Center. And check them out. Good friends, good group of people over there at Irvine Subaru. 2nd and 6. And this should be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Yeah, you're talking about nobody in the backfield but the quarterback. Trips to the left. And they're coming defensively. Diablo's coming up. Coviello was in trouble trying to get the ball to number 24, James Allen III. And actually, Bill, we're going to get another play here.
Stephen Glassford with nice pressure for the Diablos coming off the corner.
While we have a moment, I want to express my condolences and our condolences of the people that I've worked with this person when I first started on the Game of the Week a long time ago. Ray Diablo, my old college roommate, his father passed away this past week. Fred Diablo, our condolences go out to him and his entire family, who all of them live in the South Orange County area. Fred was 76 years old, and they have, Ray told me on Sunday, when he was going to the hospital to see his dad, they have pictures of him water skiing 4 months ago.
Oh my.
And suffered a stroke and passed away. But again, condolences go out to Ray and his wife Lisa and the entire Diablo family. Just really special people, and want to just make mention of that.
You know, I'm looking at the double fudge brownies that the ladies brought us up here. And, you know, I have to read labels now. You know, being diabetic, I'm looking here and the 32 grams of sugar.
Ooh.
So if I ate this, I would probably go to sleep Tuesday. But I sure want to thank them for this. I'd be up for 5 days. I'd run a couple marathons.
3rd and 11.
McCormick's wide open on the out. There he is.
Oh, and he slips.
Oh, he slips.
He had a tough time coming back for it. It's a slippery turf down there. He did everything he could to try to catch that football, besides dig a ditch and stop.
You know, that was a perfect call. They put him in motion. They ran him up the field behind the wide receiver on kind of what we call a hide route, and then broke outside. And it's just one of those deals that you look back and say, you know, we were that close.
Well, next week,
this is going to be a beauty.
This is going to be what they say, a barn burner, I guess. Woodbridge and Santa Margarita Eagles at Saddleback College could be for the Seaview League Championship. That all depends on what happens tonight. And tell you what, we're looking forward to that one. But I've been looking forward to that one since Marcus put it on the schedule in week 1, because you knew that Woodbridge was going to be good this year.
Fake punt. Oh, what a beauty.
And they're going to get the first down. San Clemente takes a huge chance. They get the first down. Jason Kim. He's the captain of the team, and he's all the way down to the 5-yard line. Schultz come from behind to make the touchdown-saving tackle. And, Bill, you love that kind of football.
Paul, if you want to win championships and go to the playoffs, you've got to have guts enough to do some crazy things. And this was as well executed a fake punt as I have seen in some time.
When we come back, we'll take a look at it. That's the end of the 3rd. We'll be back.
There may be a world without HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. In our world, the virus is still spreading. The most powerful weapon against the disease is you. If you're at risk, get tested. Choose a future free from HIV and AIDS.
A super competitive football game between two very good football teams. 21-9. San Clemente just did a surprise play on 4th down. They kept the football. Jason Kim, who's a co-captain of this football team, took it all the way down inside the 5-yard line, and that's where the Tritons are to start the 4th quarter.
That was just absolutely wonderful execution of a, you know, we call them trick plays. Not a trick play, it's a football play. It's just well executed.
Man in motion, McCormack, and James Allen has it.
Crossbuck, Paul.
I like that, Bill.
Crossbuck.
We're going to need to build a big graphic crossbuck.
You know what? Joe Marks was telling me tonight that we're working real hard on getting the telestrator.
I know.
See, what we could do is we could show the folks at home what the crossbuck is. Just draw it up here.
Well, if they get in.
Good picture there of Mark McElroy.
Tritons from about the 1-yard line. Coviello, the quarterback. He did a follow moments ago for a first down. Allen's going to get it again. Allen's going to get in.
Same play.
Touchdown, Tritons. We get a little closer. 21-15 now. Do you go for 2 here? It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. You're still be 4 points
yeah,
shy.
I think right now they're going to kick the extra point. Hollis is in the game, and if you get it down to a 5-point ball game, the touchdown was a result of some excellent play calling and taking a chance. That was, I think you just have to do that. I think your players appreciate it. It shows you have confidence in them. That extra point is good. So 11-14 left in the game, Paul. We're down to 21-16. The Diablo's still on top.
And we'll be back right after this.
My boyfriend plays so many video games. I'll come home. I'll leave him for 3 hours.
Me and my video games? What about you and your obsessive-compulsive neatness? You understand that?
Go in the hamper. Dirty clothes.
Relationships are tough, so why make them any tougher? It's as easy as ever to get HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, even if you're already in a relationship. So be responsible. Get tested and find out how to protect yourself.
Don't spend your time arguing. Be a force for change.
So today, World AIDS Day, you can make a difference.
Escape reality. Insulate yourself with comfort, elegance, and amenities found only in the crystal world of Versailles Limousine. For all your transportation needs. Whether it's corporate business or an exciting night out in the town, try us once. Call Versailles Limousine today at 841-9703.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Game of the Week. I'm Paul Higginsville, Cunity, 21-16.
Dan
Diablo's getting the ball. And there's a young man that we talked about. Well, he's been doing this for 30 years, but Billy Dunham runs out, gets the tee. There he is right there. Billy Dunham just does a little 360 around the tee, picks it up, and I've seen the backside of Billy, but he does that for San Clemente. He does that for Saddleback, and he the all-around go-to-it auxiliary guy for both those squads.
Actually, Saddleback, he kind of does all the stuff with the equipment guys. I think Mike Stutz still does that. Go out is the tee guy at Saddleback. That's my buddy, Mikey Stutz.
That's right.
Ooh, Bowling is a step away from popping that.
Bill, let's go back and talk about that drive. It was really a truly fascinating drive. 11 plays, 86 yards, but 60 of that drive was on the fake punt.
You know, Dan Zamora and I were just talking about the way that play was set up, and I would have to ask Mark if it was part of the plan, but, you know, some of the best fakes I've seen, the coaching involved with it is you make it look like your team is confused. A guy came on the field late, like, oops, I forgot I was on this team, and then Kim just did a great job on the fake. Hudgens with the quick route in the flat to Bowling, and you know, you feel things starting to change a little bit here.
I was just going to ask you about that. You kind of feel the momentum switching a little bit. If you're Mission Viejo, the way the stop got, obviously, Bill, come up with a big play.
You know, and that's where one guy, in some cases, you can look to a senior like a Bowling, or Honigford's had a great night tonight, or maybe a Billy Brummel, or somebody where you say, look, somebody make a play and get us the momentum back. That's what it takes.
Yep.
Just takes, you know.
There's a lot of football left in this 10 and a half minutes.
And how fast can the momentum change? It can change on a play.
Game of the Week being brought to you by Cox Digital TV. Over 130 channels available to you in CD quality sound and a great picture. That's Cox Digital TV, 240-1212. You'll notice the difference. You'll be very spoiled by their menu selection that they have and the way you can record and watch shows at the same time. 10:31 to go. We'll be back.
Beach City's Pizza, the best pizza on earth, brings you another Orange County surf moment. Using the finest deli meats and cheeses along with our famous made-from-scratch sourdough crust, our pizza is the best on earth. Beach City's Pizza in the beautiful Dana Point Marina, open 7 days to serve you the best pizza on earth.
We come back to you with 3rd and 3, San Clemente Tritons with the football. 8:24 to go in this game. 21-16. This is a huge play right here. They shift, Bill. Crossbuck coming, or they're going to sit back and pass this?
Sweep.
Nope. You called it. McCormack, he has 1 yard to get the first down, and he gets it. The second effort right there. He kind of stalled and then pushed forward.
You know, that sweep, the blocking out on the perimeter is what's so critical, and they really do a good job of that. How big was that first down?
A huge
because,
first down.
You know, there's 8 minutes left in this game, and there are times when you think, okay, hey, we'll punt and get it back, and you never see it again.
That's right. And you see, you know, it's interesting to listen to sports talk radio in the Los Angeles and Orange County and San Diego area, and they talk about how blasé pro football is right now and how college football is really coming on. Personally, I always thought that college football was more exciting than professional football anyway, but high school football, hey, it's pretty exciting too. We're seeing a great game tonight.
Well, I think high school football, because of its unpredictability and you know, you get guys of every shape and size. I just think it's really, really fun to watch. I've always been a college football fan. I just think it's
sure have.
It's certainly fun to coach on that level, whether it's junior college or 4-year level, because I think the skill level is good, but the entertainment is substantial.
Yep. 2nd and 8, 7:09, and I have to say, you know, you know this, Bill, over the years, and I'm a true. And if people don't like me because of this, I totally understand. But I'm a true Redskin fan. Always been. And they finally won a game last week, so hail to the Redskins for 1 week.
Well, Norv Turner and I have been friends since...
I like him.
About I think I first met Norv about 1970. And Norv has paid his dues. You know, he coached at USC. John Robinson gave him an opportunity, and then he coached with the Rams and then the Cowboys, and he's one of the good guys.
Yeah.
One of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet.
I hope they hold on to him.
I do too.
Bill, you know, talking to Coach McElroy, Coach Crapo, we asked him how did this game affect your season? And he said, hey, this is the biggest game of the season. Doesn't get any bigger or better than this. So that's the kind of amplitude that is with this game tonight.
There's a give and take foul. Mission Viejo offside play before. This last play, San Clemente jumps. So, you know, what's always interesting is you say, okay, the ball was on the 36-yard line, and then there's a 5-yard penalty, and then there's a 5-yard penalty the other way, and it comes back and it's on the 37-yard line.
You wonder how that happens.
Somebody's getting short strides here.
2nd and 8. Just looking at Mark McElroy moments ago, you know, the series since he's been there with San Clemente.
They played to Smith.
They've played 6 games and they're 3-3. San Clemente and Mission Viejo are 3-3 since Mark McElroy has been there. So tonight we'll decide on who gets the edge in the series since Coach Mark McElroy has been there.
You know, I'm not sure who's coaching those tight ends and wide receivers for Mark, but they do a tremendous job of blocking on the perimeter, because very seldom on these sweeps do you see a defensive back come flying up and penetrate that.
That's right.
So,
well, you know, you're looking at Coach Mark McElroy. The other head coach is Steve Crapo, and he's in the box below us coaching defensively. That's why you don't see him out there. 3rd and 4.
Play action screen again.
Coviello to Allen. Allen gets the first down and more across the 50-yard line. Brought down from behind. Another big play for the Tritons, and they're on their feet in the stands of San Clemente.
You know, if you're Mission Viejo, you've got to be thinking, hey, we're starting to stop that sweep now, and we're stopping the crossbuck, and we're stopping the trap, and then, oops, here comes the screen again. And you know what happens? It's because one defender forgets about that stay home deal. You know, don't start chasing all this stuff. You can chase it after it crosses the line of scrimmage, but if you leave early, they're going to find you.
1st and 10 inside the 40, mark it at the 37 for San Clemente. Momentum a little bit riding on their side. Reverse to Smith. And Smith turns and dices.
Now, Jones stayed home.
He
was
did.
in his position. He was the outside backer on that side. and he waited, and the ball came to him. But that thing I was telling you before, that's a semi-true story. Back when Dick Enright, Eric Patton, and I were coaching together, you know, we were talking to our guys about, now, this team we're playing this week, boy, on defense, you got to stay home. You know, 3 guys are going, hey, coach, I mean, we'd really like to come to practice. You can't be too literal when you coach, you know.
Oh, man. 2nd and 10.
Your linebacker, be sure and stay home tonight, and then you don't see him at the game.
An official's timeout. Who called the timeout? I didn't see who called it.
I think San Clemente did, yeah.
You don't normally call a defensive timeout unless you're down around that red zone and you're all mixed up. So San Clemente calls the timeout. Again, want to remind you that you're watching the Game of the Week right here on Channel 3. The 4th quarter is being brought to you by Cox Digital TV. For information on how to get Cox in your home on digital quality, 240-1212. I want to thank all of our camera operators for just doing a wonderful job all season long, as we are in our 9th week of the high school football season, and next week will be the 10th week. Could be the biggest game we've seen this year. Woodbridge Warriors taking on Santa Margarita. That will be held up at Saddleback College in Mission Viejo. Please come out for that one. We're going to have a full house. I know you people in Irvine are going to be out there in your red supporting the Warriors. We want to see you pack it on that side, because that's where we're going to be.
We don't want to put any pressure on, but boy, this food spread we had tonight is going to be tough to beat.
Well, I had to bring Dan Zamora up here to help us out.
That's right.
Dan's trying to lose weight, right, Danny? This ain't helping anybody.
There's the bubble screen.
And Dan Zamora doesn't need to lose anyways. And McCormack gets loose. Boy, he's spinning, and he keeps spinning 3 times. He spun down to the 27-yard line, and you gotta love that.
You know what? He just got him another first down.
Second
what a
and third
great
effort.
Individual effort. Paul, we've always called that the bubble screen, and that is you can see the quick throw with those 2 offensive players out in front.
I really like
But
this
watch
young
McCormick.
man.
There's 2 tacklers there. He's gone.
And a good block.
3,
too,
4,
2 good blocks.
5, 6, 7, 8. Takes 8 guys to get him.
I love how the linemen come back and make blocks. That is really, really good to see. 21-16. San Clemente is down.
This might be the drive of the season.
Allen. And you're watching some of the best high school football we've seen all season long between 2 teams. Really competitive. And that equals out to great coaching, great teams, all the way down to the water boys who support the team.
Well, you said it earlier, 21-3. You said this is not over by any stretch of the imagination, and this has turned into a tremendous battle. And again, if San Clemente wins, they're in the playoffs.
Yep.
Mission Viejo has to win 2 this week and next week.
Both teams with a lot of pressure. They send the man in motion on the right side. And a first down for San Clemente.
Roesti just does it again, and he gets out on the perimeter, and the guys that you have to congratulate, James Allen with a great block, Morgan with a great block, and you say, gee, you know, those running backs, 24 and 14, when 24 is in the backfield, you think, well, he's going to get the ball on the trap, and maybe that little cross-buck series. What he obviously is doing a great job of his blocking, and so is that entire offensive line for the Tritons.
Mark McElroy already thinking of the next play. Oresti with a number of key carries in this game. San Clemente, 1st and 10. So far they have 2 turnovers on the night. Allen, he dices up inside the 10-yard line on that right hash mark. So they'll be inside the 10-yard line, and they'll be facing a 2nd down and about 5 for a first. So you can still get a first down before getting into the end zone.
A very impressive second half by San Clemente. They made some nice adjustments at halftime, and they have really dominated play here in the second half. And they've had to do it a couple of different ways. One, where they were out of downs and they just did it on a fake punt. This time, a very well executed drive.
2nd down right here. McCormack. Boy, he did a great job of cutting up. Touchdown. Tritons lead it.
Now, Mark McElroy is going to probably signal for let's go for 2. That puts him up in a position where it's going to be 22-21. And with a 2-point conversion, a little chart, and it says, and it was developed at Stanford University, and it's all the different combinations of how far ahead or behind you are There's a great picture of McCormack and some great blocking by his offensive lineman. What a drive. That was just wonderful execution.
12 plays, 80 yards, and a 7-yard run by McCormack.
That's impressive, because if you can go 80 yards in high school football, and there were a penalty or two sprinkled in there, that that's pretty impressive.
San Clemente takes the lead, and they're going for 2. Allen has it. Allen, and he's in. So they lead it by 3, 2:25 to go. We'll be back with more of high school football and a great finish coming your way right after this.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land, and sea. On November 10th, the United States Marine Corps celebrates its 223rd birthday. Its proud and distinguished history will be remembered for that elite corps of men and women who have earned the title Marine. Happy birthday, Marines.
Sometimes when you hear him crying, you can't see him. Other times when you can see him, you can't pick him up. When you can pick him up, your legs might not work to get you there. Multiple sclerosis randomly attacks the nervous system, so you never know what life will be like from one day to the next. After 50 years of helping people with MS, we're closer than ever to a cure. Help us find it.
24-21, one of the best high school drives we've seen in a long time. And Dan Zamora, standing next to me, used to play at Saddleback, said the same thing, Bill. He said that was just a spectacular drive, and it was. San Clemente, Bedron with it. He gets out to the 15-yard line.
Great kickoff coverage by the Tritons.
Talking about Billy Dunham coming out to get the tee, and he does it once again for San Clemente as he trots back, and there he is.
And we get the same view of him
again.
again.
The same. Good shot. Good. Now, if you had to like go back and cut that and do it again, you'd have the same thing. As you said, 24-21. That is a good luck charm.
All right, now the worm turns here a little bit. Let's see how Steve Karn's team responds to this. With 2:21 left in the game, they're down 24-21, and they have a chance to come back and win the game.
That's right. They haven't scored since it was 21-3. Hudgens, a good quarterback, stands in the pocket. This ball might have hit the ground and incomplete. And the fans are just going crazy on the other side with San Clemente. They're all standing. Touchdown Club is over there. The Hadleys who run the Touchdown Club are so happy. Steve Karn's on the near side talking to his players, sending in a play. That's Schultz as he goes in. Schultz and Hudgens right next to each other. Again, want to thank Steve Karns for all his cooperation the last 2 football games that we've covered with him. However this season shapes up for the Diablos, I think the kids learned a lot from Mr. Steve Karns during the course of the season. 24-21. Playoff implications on the line. San Clemente wins, they go to the playoffs. Hudgens stands in, ball down the middle. Intended for number 4, looking for pass interference, and San Clemente actually is looking for offensive pass interference.
Wow.
There was something going on.
A lot of bumping going on back there, but there's a no call, and the ball is still resting on the 15-yard line, and this really might be the season in terms of the playoffs for the Diablos. They've got a 3rd down, and with 2:12 left, you'd probably have to consider, if you don't make it on 3rd down, going for it, because you probably wouldn't get the ball back if you punted it. And that's under that, you know, the coaching magic number there, I think, is about 3 minutes. Anything over 3 minutes, 3 minutes and 20 seconds, you might punt it. But in a game like this, you probably not. Tight end's open. There he is. Billy Brummel.
Watch out, he's got one man to beat. And down on the 49-yard line.
You know, a great play action pass and a crossing route by Bill Brummel. And when he made the catch, he got a block downfield and almost busted that thing. How big is that, Paul? It comes down to a play. And like you said earlier, how do you change momentum? Somebody makes a play.
That's right.
Hudgens with a great throw, and then watch Billy Brummel. Takes it in stride. Actually, that was not a block. Billy just broke that tackle.
touchdown saving tackle made by number 21 again, Jason Kim.
Hey, how exciting is it?
This is
great.
Wonderful. 24-21. A field goal can tie it up. They're at midfield. Hudgens going back to pass again. He's going to be flushed out of the pocket, and he gets tackled about 4 yards up.
Now you have to think about your timeout situation. They're probably going to spike this. My guess is right now to save anything they have left. Get up, snap, spike. That's good.
Joshua Pridham with the last tackle on Hudgens. And they'll lose it down on that, but they'll gain some time.
Did I tell you about the play I saw last year? It was I believe it might have been Texas Tech, but Baylor, I think it was the Baylor game. Baylor quarterback wanted to spike the ball to stop the clock.
You told me about this.
And the nose guard lines up in the gap between the guard and the center, and he knows the quarterback has to spike it. So the Baylor quarterback steps back, starts to spike it. The nose guard dives through and catches the spike. Interception.
That's the shortest interception.
Shortest interception in history.
There you go, 3rd and 7. They need a first down to keep going. Watch out from behind. Fumble. Ball's on the ground. San Clemente has it. They're going to the playoffs.
Biggest play on defense of the night. And he comes on the backside by number 45 on defense. And that is Joshua Pridham, and number 75, and that's Justin Tomerlin. Those two guys being congratulated by their coaches. And I'll tell you, you must give the Diablos credit because they really put the pressure back on the Tritons. And with a minute and 17 seconds left right now, I think you're going to see Mr. Coviello just go back and take a knee. And boy, I'll tell you what, our hats off to the San Clemente football team, their coaching staff, for a great comeback.
Saw moments ago Mark McElroy looking all over the sidelines. He was looking for a player, and finally he gets him, sends him onto the field. So at the minute 17 to go, all they have to do is run out the clock. They'll use too much of the clock right here. And they were going to the other side with McCormack. After the game, I'll be going down to the field for an interview with one of the San Clemente players. And we'll be talking to Mr. McCormack, who has had such a great game, and why not?
You know, this would be a heartbreaking loss for the Diablos because of the way they came back after that game last week against Mater Dei. So for Steve Carnes and his staff and that group of football players, just keep your heads up and keep battling because you really showed a lot of character tonight. And for the Tritons, coming back from 21-3, there's a little character in that one.
A hard-fought football game. McCormack goes in motion, and he's going to be the guy that's going to touch the football, him and Allen. And again, congratulations goes out to the entire staffs of both teams. I think they came well prepared tonight. And also, you know, I'm really impressed with Jason Kim from San Clemente. He came up with some big plays at the right time.
Well, that's what the captain's supposed to do. And you pick that guy for any number of reasons, mostly for character. But that fake punt will be remembered, I think, as the thing that really turned the Tritons game around. Yeah. And it was at a point in the game where if you punt the ball away and the Diablos control it for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, you don't have time to do all the stuff they've done in this comeback. A combination of very good second half defense by the Tritons and then some imaginative offense and, you know, a little trickery too. Mark McElroy out there, and you can see him in that huddle talking to that offense, and the Mission Viejo defense same way. And with a minute and 2 seconds left, it is 2nd down and 11. So you don't want to be too conservative if you're San Clemente. You'd like to get another first down. You get another first down, the game's over. But right now, too, you certainly don't want to turn it over. And you want to still play aggressively on offense.
How often does San Clemente give us a good football game on the Game of the Week?
Probably just about every time we see him.
Mark McElroy knows I like that. And that's, I don't know, he's got something up his sleeve.
Probably his arms. Hey, thanks again to these people that have provided us with all the food, the San Clemente Touchdown Club, the Mission Viejo cheerleaders, and just a great night for us here. Lots of fun. Mission Viejo has 8 guys near the line of scrimmage, and McCormick is going to get a first down, Paul. What a huge play. Great blocking at the point of attack. And James Allen gets up limping a little bit, but boy, he's done a great job tonight. And that offensive line with a tremendous effort at a key point. 54 seconds left. Now you don't really have to do much. You take 2 snaps and the game's over. And yeah, you'll be interviewing the right guy. McCormick with a great run.
24-21 will be the final score, and San Clemente put on a great show. And congratulations goes out to Mission Viejo.
Looking at the keys to this game, too, I think early in the game, the passing attack, Hudgens to his favorite receiver tonight, Honigford, really got the Diablos going. Early, the interception by number 6, Bedron, that got him off. That's going to be delay a game again, so they'll move the ball back 5 yards, but that's not a huge concern to the Tritons now because only 25 seconds remain. So one more snap, a knee on the ground, and then this game is going to be history. That'll put the Tritons at 2-1-1 in the South Coast League, and it's going to, I believe that's going to be 1-3 for the Diablos in league with 1 game left. There's the knee. Quarterback will toss the ball to the official. 19 seconds, 18 seconds and counting, and then there's 2 teams out there on the field showing great sportsmanship, and both teams have played their hearts out, and one team has a great comeback victory. The other team has a very, very tough loss, but in terms of just being a fan up here and watching, that's been a tremendous night of high school football. Final score, San Clemente 24, Mission Viejo 21, and we'll be back right after this.
You know, in my day, life was a lot slower. Sheriffing was a lot easier, but times have really changed, especially right here in Orange County.
Begin a career in law enforcement. Join and call 1-877-SHERIFF.
Welcome back to the game of the week. You can see the scoreboard, San Clemente 24, Mission Viejo 21. You're looking at a bunch of happy Tritons down there. Let's go down to the sideline with Paul Higgins and Chris McCormick.
Thank you very much, Bill, and this is a happy young man. Chris, we go back and let's talk about halftime. 14-3 at halftime. Coach McElroy, Coach Steve Crapo takes you into the halftime, and what does he say to you?
He told us we saw we could play and we saw we could move the ball on them. We just killing ourselves in some of those drives. Got some bad penalties, and we just coach just said keep fighting. We knew we could come back after last week. Just got us fired up, and we came out ready to play in the second half.
Well, you scored 3 touchdowns in the second half, and we've got to take a look at some plays with you because you played offensively and defensively tonight. You very rarely left the field. You were in motion all night long, but your running game tonight in the second half, can you talk about that?
The running game, really, we picked it up big time. The sweep started to open up. Everybody was making blocks on the whole field. John Morgan, Chris Resti, John Goodman, Jake Goebel, Jason Alejo. Oh, geez,
the list goes on and on. I want you to take a look at this next play right here because this next play will be the touchdown. And can you tell us about this play?
All right. I don't know.
Okay, I guess we've already seen that play, but it was 24, it was 21, and you scored the touchdown. Can you tell me about that touchdown play?
Well, I was taking it across trying to get on the sweep, and I saw it was closing up, so I just decided to cut back, and everybody was moving one direction, so it was pretty much wide open.
And Chris, we're going to take a look at that touchdown right now. I want to ask you a question as we take a look at it. You're blocking, as you mentioned it. They performed great here.
Oh, yeah. They performed great all night long. They're opening holes. Everybody played a hell of a game tonight. blocking was huge everywhere on the field.
Now you're into
defense too. The defense, second half, they didn't even score on us. 20, we shut them out. No points in the second half.
That's right. This is why they won. I'm going to have to hold you down here, man. Well, 24-21, you win the game. You're going to the playoffs. You got to be thrilled with that. But you can't think about that yet. You still have one more game to play. Can you tell us quickly about that next week?
Capo, our big rivalry. We're ready to play Capo. We'll see what we'll get after. We hope we'll get after it.
One additional question for you. Bill Cunity mentioned all night long. Have you ever heard the term crossbuck?
No.
There we go. I didn't think so. Crossbuck from the 30s and 40s. Go enjoy this celebration. Yeah. Congratulations and welcome to the playoffs. Daniel Montesinos, we talked about him. You're wearing his number. Hey, congratulations. Go enjoy it, man. One of our running backs and one of our players that have stuck around to do a lot of interviewing. We'll see you a little bit later. Let's go back out to Bill Cunity for final game statistics.
Oh, thanks, Paul. I'll tell you what, that's one of the joys of doing what we do, is to see a guy like Chris McCormick and enjoying that victory. Final stats there, the score 24-21 San Clemente. You can see first down, San Clemente came back and won that battle. Rushing yards, 330 yards on the ground for San Clemente. That's an impressive night, 448 yards in total offense. Two turnovers for each team. But Mission Viejo with 338 yards in offense. That's a good night for the Diablos. They came out strong early, and it was just a case of the San Clemente Tritons coming back in the second half, and the fake punt and a couple of excellent drives. There's another good picture of Chris McCormick, and he paid tribute to his entire team during that interview with Paul. Next week, we have a great game for you. Don't miss this one. It'll be at Saddleback College. Next Friday night, the Woodbridge Warriors and the Santa Margarita Eagles. That will be for the championship of the Seaview League. And we'll bring that to you with all of our crew. Marcus Williams, everybody have done a tremendous job tonight. We hope that James' wife has a baby real soon here so we can celebrate that too. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next week on the Game of the Week.